talking to myself. And
Just turned
we
off, right,
are
Andreas?
live. Yes, I know.
Echo.
In an accent. So weird.
It's perfect.
There we go.
Oh,
Yes.
God. I'm glad this is only from the waist up, because
I know.
Really
Andreas looking very disheveled today. I like it. It's a different look for
so,
him. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, definitely.
He was
He's
just
been
suave.
working hard.
He was just
working
on-
hard.
Suavemente.
This is the first time we've ever seen him in the daytime, unless we've been up all night with it.
Is it the
Well,
daytime? It looks pretty
no,
dark.
it's
where he
evening.
is.
It's 9 o'clock soon.
It's a
But
reasonable hour, though.
It's
not
Sweden,
extra
so the
boring.
sun is up. So, but yeah, we can start. But I fucked up this Skype thingy, so everyone is everywhere.
We don't care.
Okay.
Let's see.
Oh, wait,
This-
are we
this-
actually
remember-
going live now, or can I...
Buzz.
Wait, hold on. Have we actually gone live, or can I have a minute?
No, we are live.
Oh.
But you can have a minute.
All right.
You can have a minute.
No,
That's
there's-
fine. But we're live.
Boy, there's 6 of us. People can just leave and come at any time.
Yeah. We'll just.
We'll pick up
Well,
the
yes,
slack.
but I don't
I've got a little
trust- I don't
sign I'm
trust-
gonna hang
I
up.
don't trust Aaron to do this properly. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of Second Sons. We have a super packed cast today. As always, I'm Roy Rogers, and with me today is, why don't we do our special guest first? So, which one of you wants to go first?
I'm pretty special. I'm Ryan Jones from the San Diego / SoCal Meta. Happy to be on with you guys.
Hey, how many card designs do you have?
Just 3.
12.
Zero actually, because nothing's out, but
Very
3
good.
promised.
The cards that were.
And then we have one more guest all the way from sunny England.
Team Europe.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Craven from Banter Behind the Throne. I haven't got any card designs, but I have got a card named after me.
It's true, an awesome card.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It means I'm playing Night's Watch for the rest of my life, but I can do that.
Gross.
Night's
Not worth
Watch
it.
defense, Craven, or Night's
Change
Watch
your name.
sweep
Hey.
or discard.
Bro, that's the exact same beer.
Well,
I have in
if
my
you
house.
listen to our cast this week, you'll come to understand that I'm going to have to play Night's Watch Graffian forever, because there might be a card coming out called White Raven, which kind of locks me in.
Hey, would you mind just
I
putting up
guess.
the picture of that immediately, so that everyone
Yeah,
can see
like-
it without looking at the
yeah,
cast? That'd be great.
Oh
Yeah,
Yeah,
Where's
thanks
the-
to
But all
Aaron's
first
crappy-
edition, all the first edition players have got it already. So
Oh yeah, thanks. I'll check my
everyone just come
inbox.
along.
I don't have it. That's
Yeah.
I'm really sad. I played first edition.
Kind of.
But
Oh,
kind of. It's not as much as the rest of you.
What
well,
do you even call
Dave
it
put the
for?
mailing list
Play.
together, so blame him.
And then of course the standard crew is here as well. So which one of you guys wants to introduce yourselves first?
I'm Lucas. Sid. I'm still here. They haven't kicked me off yet. Still having fun.
You're a fan favorite, Sid, so you can't go anywhere. The rest of us are,
Love it.
besides Buzz, the rest of us are expendable. But
I know this is my only media outlet. So if I don't have this, the world is just they
I
go
assume all
barren.
of Lucas's fans are outside of California. Like,
Definitely.
he's got to export his brand of humor to find some fans.
and then of course we have our estimable technical side of things, who's trying to
Oh.
make this Skype situation look. How are you doing, Buzz?
Looks good, and I'm great. Thank you.
Does
Alright.
anyone
And
know
last
where
but
eating strawberries.
certainly least
Hey, I'm Aaron.
is
I'm Aaron. If you don't know me, do more throne shit because I'm everywhere. Except on cards, I'll never be on cards. But besides that, I'm everywhere. Does anyone know we're live, or are we just talking to ourselves?
yeah, we are
live.
definitely
I know
we're
we
definitely
are
live.
but I know we
Definitely
are live.
talking to ourselves.
Did we tell
Definitely.
anyone we're live yet?
There's definitely. Oh, there is somebody in the chat. So here we
Yeah,
go.
someone's here.
I mean, it's
No, that's me.
Oh wait, that's just
That's
us.
sure.
Oh,
Just
that's
us.
That's just good.
that's still just us. Yeah.
Can I reply this time, or am I not sending?
I don't know. You probably aren't sending. Do
Nah,
you
I'm
even have a
not
Twitch
sending.
account, Aaron?
Yeah,
Um,
it's like Aaron Glazer or something, which makes a lot of sense.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Don't load it up, please. Your computer will blow up.
Really?
Okay, so
Probably why.
We have
Uh,
listeners now. We're good to go.
Yeah.
you do. It's awesome.
look.
All right. Woo.
Yeah,
Okay,
4
so
whole people.
there's a whole reason why we have Ryan on today, and that's because California had one of their big tournaments. What was this last weekend, guys?
Yeah.
Kubla was last weekend, yeah.
It's not
And,
one of our
well,
big tournaments. It's our biggest tournament.
It's your biggest tournament. All right, it is your biggest tournament in California. So how did that go for you, Ryan?
Swimmingly.
Swimmingly?
Yeah. 8-1
How about you?
to take first place over Chris Schoenthal in the finals. He's playing Targ Lion, and I was playing Lanny Dragon. A lot of the same cards on the board that day. He beat me in the third round of the Swiss. Like, really, it was an awful game. I challenged him. I dared him to have a put to the sword on the first turn, and he definitely did. So that I decided that in all my games after that, I was like, maybe I won't go so Rambo and just dare people to have the amazing perfect cards. So that actually probably tightened me up for the rest of the day. So I thank him for putting it to me that third round. I was like, okay, well, I guess this is serious time now. But I was able to get him back in the finals. Our only losses on the day were to each other. Finals was a little rough for him. He got no big characters. He flopped a Drogo that I tears on the first turn, and then after that, he didn't see a single high impact character. Tyrion with nothing to spend it on. So I guess Tyrion's high impact, but not if he doesn't have support. And I saw everyone. I saw Mary, Tywin, Jaime, Ilan Payne for all his dragons. It was a quite a lopsided thing on the character quality.
So what style was he running? A Danny build or just a Drogo build?
Both is just all the best characters you can shove in a deck. That's
Pay
kind of
for it all.
the game right now, right? Like,
Yeah, it really is.
probably 3 Danny, 3 Drogo, 2 or 3 Jaime, Ilan, Tyrion, Illyrio. All the best stuff. You just shove it in there and then hope you draw it. And
I have the money.
he did not. Yeah. And then you got to run a bunch of money. Lanny does that better, I think. But there's scarier stuff at a target like Drag.
So I've got an important question that everyone from the Midwest is really waiting to hear answered. How many Targ cards did you run? And what were they?
I was thinking, like 12 seemed like the right number. At the bare minimum, I was thinking I would run 12. I ended up, cutting down to 12 from 12. I would recommend nothing lower and nothing higher than 12 with the Dragon. That's the sweet spot, really.
It's such a sweet number.
Yeah. Well,
No, you can throw in one more Lannister card if you do that, right? And I hear Lannister's broken.
Yeah.
So
quite.
I mean, you can
Right,
throw in
let's
2 more Lannister cards because you should absolutely be running 61 cards.
there we go.
I'm ashamed to say I was at 61. I'm a pretty staunch defender of the 60 card deck, but I decided last second to go up to 2 Widow's Wails to help push Mary through, and I didn't have the presence of mind to make a good cut, so I just went to 61.
Did the second Widow's Wail.
Yes.
Did you like
61
having
is where it's at.
Second Widow's Wail was great. I wish I'd gone to a third milk. I only ran 2 milks, so I should have ran 62.
Ooh, that's a little too much, right? That whole extra
No.
card can't have.
If 61's okay, 62 must be all right. But that's a slippery slope.
Right? Well, and then 63, right? It's
Only if you're
fine
playing
too.
Targ.
Go for it. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
60.
win world championships doing 63 Targ. So
We need a
Okay,
specific
so-
agenda for that, though, right?
So what?
the first time wasn't that, but yeah.
All right. So what we're saying is 61 is okay, and 63 is okay if you're playing Targ, but 62 is just a moral
Quagmire?
Yeah, but
Yes.
I don't
So
expect
well.
everyone to know that. Like, that's some really high level shit. Like 63 Targ, 62 never, 61 okay. And if you really want to win, just play 60. 60 are the best cards.
So Sid, how did you do in the day?
I went 4-2. I kind of pulled a U-turn last minute after conversing with Ryan the night before the tournament and decided not to
You
play.
could have been there with me.
I could have, yeah. So we were kind of sharing each other what we had the night before, and we both had a Lanny Dragon deck built, and they were real similar. And then we both had kind of more of a janky deck built. His was Barra Sun, and mine was Martell Stag. And at the end of our kind of few games, I was like, I can't play the big guy stuff. I know everyone's going to play it, and I probably am putting myself at a disadvantage, but I just wanted to play the funky deck with 3 Varus and tons of Neil and tons of icon control. I mean, it was all control. No, it was like the no good character deck. And it actually did fun. Fun, not well. I went 4-2 and beat a lot of really good players.
Name one.
And had a lot of great players. OK Targ is a very good player. Alejandro
he's not.
is a very good player. He is.
He's bad.
So you're saying it was his fault that he lost with the what wasn't the Swedish regional winning deck? That's what he was playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously,
A good player played that deck and did well.
That's true.
It's not the deck's fault, right? Like we've proven that the deck's okay.
I have a super quick story against that deck, it's so fast. So in my game against him, I think I won like 15-4. He can correct me if I'm wrong. It was like 15-4. He flopped Boneway, right? Flopped Boneway, never missed a Boneway trigger, and never got above 2 tokens. He successfully like allowed me to win 2 challenges, and I beat him 15-4. It was one of the weirdest and most satisfying games I've ever had, and that's why Control can win. But not so much against the big guy.
2 challenges the entire game? Is that what you're saying?
I only won. Yeah, I won 15-4 and I won 2 challenges. He didn't miss a trigger.
someone was running the dominance deck.
A little bit. Well, only
Where else are you getting that power from?
Yeah, really.
only the chamber. I'll tell you where else. Doran's game. That's where I'm getting it.
Okay.
Woo!
Oh, wow.
I
Okay.
thought the game just went 15 plots.
Guys, that deck sounds fucking terrible.
It was the weirdest
is.
game I've ever played.
What did you do if they flipped one Winterfell?
One what?
Winterfell.
Oh, no one plays that card.
Oh, okay. Like someone flips Winterfell and just like, I'll just pack up my cards and go home.
It's only
Yeah.
the answer to everything in the meta right now.
Yeah, that's it.
Winterfell would screw my deck.
It felt so good.
Right.
We had 2 Stark Field.
Was there not a lot of Stark at Kubla?
There
There
was
was
actually
2 in the
field
top 8,
teams.
yeah.
Yeah, I made top 8.
Well,
So,
one of them made the
like it-
legit top 8. There
That's
was
true.
some
One got-
drama near the end.
Oh, you guys had drama too? Oh,
Well-
it's here. Because we're going to be talking a lot about
All our
the other
decks were
major drama
legal.
stuff.
All our decks were legal, which is cool. But yeah, 2 of our top 8 dropped before the top 8 after knowing that they had gotten into the top 8.
Ooh.
Not guys I know.
Shout out names anyway. Fuck them.
I'll
Personal
never
reasons?
get them
Sure.
through.
Just don't know them.
Yeah, I think they just had like other stuff to get to. We're like,
Yeah.
meh.
Obviously not lifers. Like one guy had a concert planned and he's like, "Oh, I won't make the top 8." And then he made the top 8. Like, man, Celine Dion will come back around again next year. Like you might not be in top 8 at Kubla next year.
And all of this allowed Tiny Grimes to get into the top 8.
That's
which was
the- that's the
there's
real
a travesty. That is the real.
It's the only
real
word that
tragedy.
can describe it.
Oh my god. Tiny Grimes thinking he got into the top
Wait,
8
no.
legitimately is the worst.
He said it. He
Wait.
said on Summer's Coming, I made the top 8. Like,
Time out, because the best is earlier, Tiny Grimes decided to talk shit on an Alex Trigg post. And it's like, no, you're Tiny Grimes and he's Alex Trigg. You don't get to talk now.
about his
Pause. You have to link this to me. And now.
It's I can't get on Facebook without like killing this podcast. So I will link it to you after it. But he was
Is
like,
it in the Super Series stuff?
I don't remember where it is, but I
I
remember
remember seeing this. It was yesterday.
Alex Trigg was like, yeah, I'm gonna play this Terrell Stag deck, and I'll probably make top 4. And Tiny's like, well, if there's only 4 players, and I'm like, shut the fuck up, it's Alex Trigg. He's
Oh!
gonna make the top 4 if there's 500 players. Shut up, he's amazing.
We need to tell Tiny Grimes that he can make the top 8, but only if 2 people drop.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's really good at getting 10th place. That's like his wheelhouse right there.
He's number 10. 10 out of 10.
That's respectable. I mean, you know,
I don't know. It's not
I
podcast
cried.
host worthy.
as someone who also chronically sits at like, 10th or 12th, I understand that feeling. So,
Yeah. He did
Me
say
too, guys.
something, I think, valuable on his podcast, though, this last episode, and that was that the quality of the field at Kubla is insane, and it's an as an intimidating of field as I think you can find anywhere. So
we'll have to fly
There you
one of you SoCal people and see, out to New York and see whether or not you think something like Dance or Red Saturday is equally intimidating a field, because it can be pretty brutal when you're staring down Dan and
Seeing
John.
that list, yeah, I think that's in that same realm.
Yeah.
There's a couple tournaments in the U.S. that are,
Silly.
location centers where you can bring a
Yeah.
lot of the big hitters out, and I think those are both in that
then,
category.
and then there's Missouri that has like 4 names and a million cheaters.
That sucks for all the legit guys out there, but
It really
that's
does.
I mean, it's really
Yeah.
just Mark, right? Like all the legit guys, you mean Mark. Just say Mark when you mean Mark.
Hey, we had that Nebraska contingent out at KublaCon. That was
Oh wow, Matt
pretty
Lay.
It's just
Every
Matt
year.
Lay and Jesse Mariota. Yeah,
Yeah.
every single year. I think Matt Lay has a lifetime pass. Which
Yeah, I think he's at 12 Kublas now, Matt Lane.
Wow.
So he's getting a return on his lifetime pass then.
Yes.
I think it's about 10 or 11 Kublas that you have to go to before your lifetime pass starts making you money.
That's
They
insane.
discontinued it this year, actually. Chris Schoenthal got the last lifetime pass they're ever going to make.
But now he's got to go. He's locked in for the next decade, which is fine. It's not going anywhere.
How much is this lifetime pass?
I told him I could be dead in 2 years. Like I think 640, I think it was.
Christ.
And the con is like 60 this year, and it'll probably go up, every single year for reasons.
Well, they expected to turn it up. That's why they discontinued the lifetime pass. So
That's what I think what it was. Yeah.
The value
They're
of the
expanding
two.
next year too. It's always a somewhat tight convention. It's run in a hotel, and there's a lot of areas, but there's just a huge amount of people for one hotel.
Yeah, it's huge, and the hotel is huge. But even
It
with a
is.
huge hotel, man, you have to fight for table space sometimes.
Except the card playing room is usually pretty open, which is nice. So we're there a lot. We play cards.
Hey, friend of like 18 different podcasts, James Wamsley is currently in the top 4 with Lanny Dragon.
There you go, Wama.
I think
It's a
he
good
is
day.
anyway.
It is, yeah.
I don't know.
So Craven, who went to this English tournament? By the way, the regional is going on right now.
Wait, against another one. Hang on, because this is important. Because now Wama can beat Tagore and make all of us happy.
Oh, yeah, this is a good story. There was a tournament last weekend that Tagore was at, and him and Wedge intentionally drew in their last round. So Tagore has kind of been exiled from all of our kind of conversation for intentionally drawing. So
But
Whammo
not
needs
Wedge, just
needs to
Tagore?
take him out. Yeah, well, Tagore went first, but Wedge gets at least one warning. Tagore doesn't get any warnings. So yeah, Whammo is on the side of justice in this match. So hopefully he'll punish Tagore for what happened last week.
Their boards are stupid. They both have exactly 5 characters. They are Tywin, Tyrion, Illyrio, Gregor, and Miri.
On both sides?
On both sides, although one has 2 dukes.
Hang on, that can't be
Tagore.
James' game. Whammo's not running.
Yeah,
Okay.
Wama's playing Tyrell, right?
Oh, Wama's playing Terrell? Oh, then I
think
guess he
so.
got eliminated as is.
Oh, just
Oh, that's a shame.
You reap what you
Whammo's
sow.
running the House Floor at Night, which I like for House Floor at Night, especially the way Whammo plays it. So it's good.
Fuck, there's 2 of you now.
In the world.
Yeah. No, I'm loving them too. I think they're pretty good.
Yeah, that's.
What?
Wait. Are we confusing
Why?
House Floor at Night that discards the
Hey,
lowest
look,
strength
it's Alice
character
Head. Hi,
playing
Alice
with
Head.
Yeah.
Alice behind me.
No,
With
no.
Rose Road Patrol.
no. We're talking House Floor at Night. He's good.
Okay, we're talking about House Floor at Night because Aaron was confusing the two earlier when we were talking.
I still don't know which is which. I don't really care. I tuned you out. I started I was waving at Allah, and then I started checking my text.
But it's not good though, right? This is a lark we're doing right now. That's the right word. Like, how do you make it not the lowest strength guy? Like, aren't all the good guys high strength?
You play the plot that gives all your guys +1.
That sounds.
So you kill a
then you
two-strength character? Like,
No, you
God, it
kill a
just
4-strength
sounds awful.
character. Or you discard a 4-strength.
isn't he a 2? So if he's a +1,
3.
he's a 3.
Yeah, I think he's a 3. Yeah.
Why are you playing 3-strength characters? It's a first snow meta.
For
Like,
5
everything is 4-strength or higher in the first snow meta. I don't understand.
He's 5 costs.
Or it could have 2-drop an ambush.
Just so much work for what?
For popping, who? I don't know. Nymeria.
Hey,
somebody.
some guy did that to me when he had a Seal of the Hand on the board and I had Viserys duped. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to save Viserys. Buy seal of the end? Like, what the fuck was the point of that? I was trying to figure out how to get Viserys off the board. It's like, God, I hope he militaries me. Then he militaried me, and I just defended. I was like, what the fuck were you doing?
You're both bad. That's cool.
Okay. So before we move on from talking about Kubla, do you SoCal guys have anything else you want to say about the tournament?
Every chance I get, I'll tell anyone that's anywhere close to California, you have to come next year. It's such a good time. The people are awesome. The convention's great, other than being a little crowded this year. We wrote a drinking song, a drinking pirate shanty for the California meta that was performed several times.
We're gonna get to hear that at Worlds this year.
I think
Yes.
everyone
Yes.
will memorize it by the time
Yeah.
we arrive at World.
We're gonna print it on the back of our next run of T-shirts so that we can just constantly be practicing at tournaments. Ryan, turn around. Show us the
Well,
lyrics.
That's the strongest argument for me to go to Worlds this year. So
Yeah. California drinking shanty.
yeah, I gotta hear
4
that.
stanzas. Kind of standard fare, but there's some tricks in there.
It will never
Does,
be the greatest throne song. We already have the greatest throne song. Sorry.
There is a throne song?
There is a greatest throne song, and it's not even close. Does anyone not know what the greatest throne song is?
I
Is this
know.
the Banter intro?
No, that's the second greatest throne song. So I guess you're probably gonna have to settle for third.
We talking
Hey,
about
tell
the
me.
song that Banter did about Westeros Bleeds?
That's
It's got a
amazing.
name. It's the best throne song. Nothing's topping Let It Bleeds.
I love that
Let
one,
it
especially
bleed.
because it
You wait,
drops
you wait.
the "Oh yeah" reference. That's we play that constantly. It was really the inspiration for our drinking shanty. I gotta say, like,
The
We
Genesis.
had got some more in the pipeline. We
Oh.
wrote 2 when we was in Starlet, so we've got 1 more to come at least. And there's one that me, Dave, and Waffle have worked on since then as well. So it's going to be at least 3, hopefully, within the year.
I think we need to cut an
Yeah.
album at some point.
I was gonna say,
then.
what-
Oh my
what's the
God.
minimum number of
you guys
tracks
can release
needed
a
for an
single
album?
at that point,
Well,
right?
no, they would have 4 tracks. Then we've got the 2 SoCal ones, and like we're halfway home to like a real album.
Yeah, I think
Music
we got
of
this.
Thrones.
Yeah.
It's a shame no one in
Yeah.
New York has any talent.
Not in that.
Oh wait, Dave's a acapella singer. Strome's
That
Capella.
is not super surprising.
No, really, not at all. But like, we should have a Strome's Capella throne song. Let's see.
Yeah, most interesting thing about Dave Strome's like secret history is that he used to be a competitive karaoke player.
Competitive.
Yeah,
How do you win?
Whoa. How does that work?
I don't know. Like, I'm sure it's like an American
like I've
Idol like
won before,
situation where you know, there's a band of judges and you perform the song
Okay.
and they judge you. That's how I would assume. I have not, like, when Amy, Dave's wife, told me this, I was too blown away to actually conceptualize any questions.
Was
So,
she supposed to tell you, or was that sort of a?
well, we were out and partying, and so maybe she, I don't know.
That was the
So-
first night we really hung out, Roy.
Yeah, it was.
It was the night you carried me back to Grand Central.
It's true. It was a really good night. But okay, so it's good that Craven brought up the intentional draw that got Tagore in trouble, because and we've also been sort of going around this subject matter, which is we're going to talk today about tournaments, tournament etiquette, how not to be an asshole, how not to put 11 cards when you should have 12 cards in your deck. Like, that's the first thing you should know.
Wait,
Because
wait,
I mean,
no.
How
What
many
about
steps
putting
are in that
6
one?
puts of the swords in a deck, Roy?
Six-
yes,
foot
yes,
is
that's not
worse.
my fault, Aaron. I
Uh-huh.
built you a legal tournament deck, and then you took 3 other puts from the sword from another player and put them in your deck. That's not my problem.
Because I told you not to
Alright.
put puts of the sword in the deck.
Well, because I
It's
told
also-
you I was. We're not arguing about this again. We've
Is
been
this at a
arguing about
tournament? I actually don't know
this.
the
Is that a
story.
tournament?
Yeah.
Wow.
The story is very straightforward.
The only
So
championship I've made, I just moved. I didn't have any cards. So I was like, Roy, can you move the deck? He's like, well, I have all the cards but put because I need it for my deck. I was like, okay. So I messaged another guy who wasn't playing put, and he was like, yeah, no problem. I'll bring those puts for you. So Roy hands me the deck. He goes, here's your deck. I said, okay. I walked away. I said, I got my puts from the other guy, and then I slapped them together and started playing some games.
well, Aaron is missing the point where we talked past each other, where I said I'm not running puts in my Knights Rush deck
He didn't
anymore.
say any of that.
Yes, I did, and you were just like, okay, and then
Knights Rush. Blah. He just
was that.
listen to anything.
Yeah, well, I topped for it at that tournament,
Nice.
so
Only because I DQ'd myself.
only because you DQ'd yourself. Yes, of course.
Clearly.
Had nothing to do with the games that I won.
No, not even a little.
But yeah, so that's the story. So we DQ'd Aaron for having 6 cards in his deck. Oh, even though we should have just 6 of a single card. We should just flip them over. I mean, the technical thing you're supposed to do is flip them over, and Aaron has 3 blank cards in his deck. But
I DQ'd myself. I felt bad.
I think that's
Yeah.
probably the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
though it's not the official thing.
You're
Yeah.
right. It's just
Well,
like
he just basically dropped, is what he decided to do.
Yeah.
So. But yes, well, things like that. That's the kind of stuff that we're going to talk about. So, but why don't we, since intentional draws have been back in the news, and I think there's actually, again, a slight split between Europe and the Americas about this. So, Craven, why does the European community seem more opposed to intentional draws than the Americans do?
because if Tagore does it, it can't be good.
Well, Aaron, I didn't ask you. Craven.
Well, yeah. Well, that is a good point. If Tagore is happy to do it, that means we collectively shouldn't be happy to do it. And I could probably end there, but it's tough because the general opinion is Europe, especially the UK, is against intentional draws, but that doesn't actually seem to be the case when looked at across the evidence we've got. There's quite a few people who seem to be all right with it. I think it tends to be people from a Magic background are more okay with it. And there's been a lot of guys in the UK, at least, who've bumped onto the thrones from Star Wars. And there's a lot more intentional draws in Star Wars because you do tend to split as a result of playing those games. So there is like a little bit of acceptance to it. But a lot of people who are against it, it just tends to go against the whole point. When you go to a tournament, you're putting yourself up against someone else. It's a competition. And no one remembers all the great stories you've got, competitions in the world, all the big kind of sporting events, and when people are talking about champions, it's because they've beaten someone, not because they agreed to draw at some point in the run up to it. It seems a little bit of a, I don't know, maybe disappointment's the right word, that you go all that way, and then it comes down to, oh, you know what, this is actually not playing, just take the points. Furthermore, it tends to result in, if people intentionally draw to put them both through to the cup, there's often the case that one of them wouldn't have made it had they played. So by taking the intentional draw, you're making it impossible for someone to get in the cup who would have got in if they'd won their game. Which, perhaps to the British thing, I don't know, but it just seems a little bit kind of unfair to dick someone out of getting into a cup by you making some sort of gentleman's agreement not to play at all.
So I've got a question.
Hold on, Aaron.
It's from the chat.
From the chat. That's acceptable.
I mean, they're discussing it, so but we might as well frame discussion. Is anyone really against the only draw being legal being the top 2 going into the cup? Or like, would the very top 2 taking an intentional draw be upsetting to anyone? Because they're both guaranteed to be in anyway, right?
No,
What do you think?
I haven't heard anyone say that they don't like that.
Yeah, me neither.
I have
anyone?
heard tons of people say that. Yeah.
Really? When the 2 are guaranteed to be in,
Is
it
there any
removes the
mathematical
negatives.
way if you're the top
Facebook
match that one of you
group.
can? No.
Okay, that's a good answer, actually.
I mean, that's one of the problems. Craven, what would if you were if someone, if the top match, say at the next regional you go to, IDs, would you have a problem with that?
And let me just sort of specify, all joking aside, what's Tagore I do because it's Tagore, but in general, I don't have a problem with anyone doing it. But it just, no, that would definitely mitigate my objections if it wasn't dicking someone else out of their final position. And I could kind of accept it. But, you go to all this way for a tournament, you're going for a fight, have a fight, get stuck in, play your cards and get your games in. It just seems strange to me to go all that way and then just choose not to play a game.
But what if all you care about is winning in party zones?
Which
I think that's the other
Okay.
side of it. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't we
you
let
don't go all that
Buzz?
way to play, you go all that way to win. And if it's a legal thing you do that gets you closer to winning or increases your chance of winning the whole thing, I think there are definitely people that have that mindset that this is the thing I need to do to increase my chance to win. Like, we all put good cards in our deck and test really hard and stay focused during games to increase our chance to win. I don't know. There's definitely different mindsets, but I see where people are coming from in that way. We
What do you
had
think, Buzz? Oh, go
yeah.
ahead. Sorry.
no,
I
sorry.
haven't haven't got into the situation where it would benefit me, so I haven't had to think about it. But I think I would
Humble
pick a
brag.
draw.
I'm always
Yeah.
undefeated, you know.
No, no, I'm very rarely undefeated outside of melee.
People's champ.
You only lose to melee to DC, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, well, to Nate.
Well, and to the French guys.
Don't say that. That is a hard
And
position.
to the
for him.
Polish.
Don't
And
be
to
nice to Nate. Everyone's so
Wedge.
nice to Nate.
It's because he's so
We all
nice
like
to everyone
Nate.
else.
I
You
don't
put
know.
you so.
Oh, yeah, I'm
That's why
sorry.
everyone's such a dick to you, Aaron.
Yeah.
Totally okay with that.
I
As
know.
long as I don't have to be nice to anyone ever.
Yeah.
So
we
how
had.
about you? Oh, go ahead, Brian.
Sorry, I'll just jump in real quick. We had one ID at KublaCon.
We did.
Final round, 2 undefeated players, John Bruno and Chris Schoenthal, and they decided to rest up for the top 8.
Hey, man.
And they both won their top 8 games.
Yeah.
Not that they wouldn't have anyway. Those guys are beasts. But I know Chris and Bruno were both looking a little weary after 5. It's tough going 5-0. You know.
Yeah.
We didn't have a lunch break at all, or did we? I don't know.
We did. It was short though.
It was, yeah. So it was a long day. It's always a long day when you're going to be at a big tournament, and no one even squeaked any foul play with the only 2 undefeateds that were guaranteed to be in, locking up the 1 and 2 seeds. Like their seeding didn't even change based on them doing that. So I don't know. That felt like a very okay and positive thing for them to do, because nothing would have changed if they'd actually played it, other than them showing each other their decks. Like I've seen people before IDs just concede in that same situation and say, I've already made the cut. Even if I concede, I don't want to tip my hand at all to you and show you my plots or my tricks. So, and that way it would have worked just as well to have a concession, which is legal.
Yeah, that's not going to change when they get rid of ties. So you can still theoretically, one player could concede if they know they're going to get in.
Right.
I mean, we also saw. Yeah, I mean, I think the main objection, I guess, on a mathematical level, right, is that IDs can lead to a group of people trying to manipulate scoring. So someone, in their group does, gets in the cut mathematically, if they know that all 3 players in their group ID in the top, say 2 tables, it would a higher chance that someone lower down in the seeding has a chance of making the cut. That seems to be the only objection that I would take is reasonable to IDs. That, and they also kind of make trying to figure out your strength of schedule and other things like that kind of a mess.
See, I think that's the best part of it. Like, not that they screw up strength of schedule, but that they make a bunch of dumb people miss the cut entirely. I'm all for that.
For someone to ID and miss, that's a fun thing.
I love it.
Has that ever? I don't think that's really happened all that often. In the U.S., the only person was, again, to bring up Missouri, which we'll come back to in a second. Like, didn't all of the top tables, like the top 3 tables, all ID, and there was a risk that one of them wouldn't, it was a coin flip. Oh, it was Will. Wasn't it Will? I think Will
Mark will
ID
answer us in a minute.
and bet that if Greg won his game, he would make it in, and he bet on Greg, and Greg lost.
Right.
Yeah.
But Will normally wouldn't have been in the top 8 if it wasn't for all of the shenanigans. I think he finished like 10th.
Well, just a couple of weeks ago, there was a regional out in Arizona, and Ryan can correct me if I'm wrong, but one of our players had the option to ID the last round and instead bet on himself to get in, but lost and therefore did not get in when an ID would have got him in.
Yeah, we had that happen.
It happened in Indiana or somewhere Luke went to.
It also happened.
Like 6 people ID'd and like half of them missed the cut because they didn't realize everyone else was an ID too.
Right. At the
It's
Connecticut
definitely worth
regional.
looking around and seeing if other people are doing it. Like if you're the only table to do it, there's a real good chance you're in the clear. But yeah, if the dominoes are falling, and I kind of feel like you just got to play.
Yeah, in the Connecticut regional though, Dennis and Britt Fitch were matched in the final round, and if they had both ID'd, they both would have been in the cut. And instead, they played their game, and Dennis knocked Britt out.
Which is amazing, because like the idea that Dennis would never do anything shady is so foreign to me. Because like that motherfucker is so shady.
Oh, well, Dennis is my ride to Gen Con, so I think he's
There you go. Yeah.
beautiful.
I think
He's a great guy.
he's a friend, but he's also beat me to get to get Dave a bye into the finals. Like,
Like physically, just beat you. Just
Well, he did both of those
Dave's getting
things.
in.
The first time I met Dennis was at the 2012 Worlds Melee when those guys were all playing the broken Martel deck, and he lied to everyone and said he was from Idaho. Hi, I'm Dennis from Idaho. And I didn't know what he looked like, but I knew the name DC Dennis. And then our top 16 game, when he said that, I was like, "What deck are you playing?" He was like, "Oh, Martel, House of Dreams." And I was like, "You're not from Idaho." Like, he's like, "No, I'm here alone. I flew out." And he kept up with it the whole game. And right at the end, the third guy playing Lanny Barrick screwed the pooch. And at the end, he's like, "Yeah, I'm DC Dennis. Like, I'm playing the stupid deck that everyone's playing." I was like, "You asshole." So now every time I see him, I ask him how's it looking in Idaho? How's the Idaho meta doing? Which is a shame if there's an actual Idaho meta that he is, poorly representing that group.
Is there a city in Idaho for there to be a meta in?
Yeah, I don't know.
The Boise meta is
Boise,
alive.
that's the
Boise.
Like, does anyone know anything about Idaho? besides
the
potatoes?
Snake
Snake
River,
River.
Idaho crew is well renowned. Yeah.
Okay, so keeping on the same topic though, so for anyone who doesn't know, what happened in Missouri was that I think it was 3 players who all came from the same meta brought a Lanny Danny deck. Well, yes, but a Lanny Dragon deck that was running 11 banner cards instead of 12. And this was not discovered until a round of deck techs were made for the top 8, because 2 of them made the top 8 and one just didn't. I think he ended up being like 12th or something. And so they checked the top 8, and the judge disqualified both players.
Time
Yes.
out. One other person got ID'd for the exact same thing. Know who it was?
Who?
Tommy Pliss.
Tommy.
Tommy left his Viserion at Greg's place and didn't realize it for the day.
Oh my God. Oof. Well, okay. Well, at least Tommy came in with the intention of having illegal.
They also didn't all come from the same meta, so you just suck at your story.
Oh, I apologize.
The two people in
So-
the chat are just like, no, you're wrong.
I apologize. I also don't apologize.
This is
But
not
anyway.
the cast for accuracy.
The basic details are good. 2 people were in the cut. They got DQ'd for having illegal decks, and one of them went on the Facebook group and was, what's the appropriate word?
Sour
Angry
grapes.
at
I think it's sour grapes.
sour grapes.
That's as angry as it got. I think. Just
he was
some
really
sour-
he was mad at himself. Was that
He was mad
No,
at Nate.
He was mad at
Nate.
TO and mad at Nate because
3 people got
probably
DQ'd.
Greg, because Greg's friends with Nate.
Hey, 3
Called
3
'cause
people,
there's no-
not 2. 3 got DQ'd. You're bad at you're bad
What?
at. Yeah, all different decks, all different metas.
Okay. Well, I greatly apologize.
Thanks so
All right.
much, Mark and Dolomite.
Okay.
Thank
So
you guys so much. You're making my day. Go ahead.
okay. So I'm going to go here and just read off what Mark is saying. Then is that what you guys want me to do? So, or we can just tell Aaron to go fuck himself, and then I'll move on with the story.
Option 2.
Anyway,
Option 2.
Option
option 2.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so the point here, though, is more what I'm interested in is the sour grapes aspect of it, which is that he went on the Facebook group and said some unkind things about the people that were running the tournament and Nate making the final ruling about disqualifying him because he believed, at least initially, that he should have been allowed to make his deck legal and then continue to play in the top 8. Let's start with that. What do you think is the appropriate reaction? Many of us here have organized tournaments, and I've TO'd. I know Buzz is TO'd. Who was TOing Kubla?
Eric Wood,
Wood.
who's done it for years. I've done it for a few years in the past, though. So
We've all have experience with this.
I think we all have experience TOing a tournament. Ryan runs Thrones War every year, so I think everyone here is.
Yeah, I'm about to get out of that game though. That's
What?
just the running it. It's my weekend. I don't have to run shit. Like, I don't enjoy the role. So.
Well, if you fly me out, Ryan, I'll run the tournament for you.
Ooh.
Okay. Maybe.
All right.
That's a no.
That's the nicest no I could think of.
No. But anyway, what do we think? Like, what was this the right call to disqualify these players? Should they be given a chance to fix their decks?
Can I ask, is there an official rule already that was followed or not followed?
This is the
Hello? What did you do to my call, guys?
number of illegal cards over, and they become blank cards for the rest of
Hey,
the
Roy is
tournament.
muted. Roy's muted.
How am I
You're-
muted?
I don't know.
You're back on for me now.
No, the call was fucked up for a while.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I apologize. I'll
Are we
start.
back?
Like 30 seconds
Hello?
it's been gone, I think.
Craven, are you there?
I'm here, yeah.
Okay, I'll start over. So the current rule only really deals with having the wrong cards in your deck, like not too few of something, but too much of something. So if you have more neutral cards than the fealty limit, if you, for example, you would flip.
People hear me? Because
Yes,
I can't hear anybody or myself.
I
We
can
can
hear
hear
you,
you.
Sid.
We can hear you.
Can hear you.
Okay. So one more time, I guess I'll try. So the current way the rules work, if you have more, say, neutral cards than you should in your fealty deck, you flip over a randomly selected, say, Sage of Stark fealty card with too many neutral cards, too many neutral cards. You would flip 2 random Stark cards over, and they become blank cards for the rest of the tournament, and you take a loss for the round that you were discovered. There's no rule for having right now. There's no explicit guide for TOs who find that your opponent, say, has, one of their players has 59 cards in their deck when they should have 60, or in this case, have 11 instead of 12 banner cards, at least 12 banner cards. So that's the problem. That's why I think they ended up reaching out to Nate, because I was to try to see, well, what is FFG's policy? If this was Worlds or Gen Con or what have you, what would you do? And that's where the advice came to disqualify the players, which seems like reasonable. That's what I would do in this situation as well.
Yeah.
But
I think the only real unfortunate thing, and I only call it unfortunate, it's not shady at all, it's just how long it took. I think those guys have enough experience that they probably could have just made that call as soon as they realized what had happened. I know there's no precedence in the rule book, but I think it's a pretty easy call to make, a pretty straightforward call to make. You just can't let that deck or any deck that's illegal play in the top 8. I think it just completely destroys the credibility of the tournament as a whole. And I think they probably knew the right call. They just wanted to make sure because they knew it would blow up, and I think it kind of blew up even more because of the delay. So
Time out.
kind of.
Mark says we did not delay waiting for Nate's answer.
Oh,
As
no delay?
The issue was that we didn't deck check the 8 IDs during the break. So there was this apparently break. I don't understand exactly.
Well, if they all ID'd, that's the last round's a break in that way.
Right.
Right, and a lot of people, I think, what I'm kind of, I guess I only alluded to it, was all the few people who had already left and were too far away and would have been in the cut once the DQs came through, but then didn't get to play. I think that made it just a little more concerning.
And then deck checking took a long time because, when you have to check a bunch of decks and a bunch are illegal. That makes more sense.
absolutely. My advice, though, to anyone who's at a major tournament like a regional, if you're on the bubble, like 10th or 12th or something, is there someone's dog?
That is the background of Danny eating a heart. Someone's watching it. Don't worry about it. Keep going.
Okay. All right. Anyway, sorry. My advice would be to anyone who's, say, like 10th, 11th, 12th, 9th, something like that. Until they actually start playing the cut, I would suggest don't leave. Unless you obviously, have a time.
If you have a concert to go to,
A concert to or something like that. But I tend to, if I'm pretty sure I'm going to be on the bubble like that, I tend to stick around until they start playing. Because if something goes wrong and you're 9th, hey, you're in the cut.
Yeah.
You're in. So, but obviously, probably in this situation, since it took a while to double check all the decks. So what do we think, though, about deck checks? When do you think they should occur, if they should occur at all? When both Worlds and Gen Cons that I've been to, FFG has not done random deck checks. As far as I know, what is the experience with the people here? Because we'll go to Stalak, which I know does things differently in a minute.
Hey.
what does Worlds and Gen Con do? Like, have you ever been random deck checked?
In 3
Oh.
worlds, I've never had a deck check.
Well, wait. Apparently, between Thrones and Star Wars last year, someone who was running it with the TO at the end of the weekend ended up with 1/4 of deck inconsistencies.
Yeah, I already take this forward actually because this was the tournament I was at. This was our nationals last year in Birmingham. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead. I know
No,
you're
that's-
coming to me.
Go ahead,
in
Craven.
a minute,
No.
but I got deck checked in the 4th or 5th round, I believe. If Jack's listening, he might be able to correct me here because he was doing it. Jack in the chat, that is. Jack, please.
Oh, not Jack.
So we got deck checked, and I got Jack. He's been on Banter Behind the Throne a few times. He
I didn't realize it was that Jack.
I
Got
got
it.
deck checked, and my deck, I had listed down, this is first edition terms now, but I'd listed down, I think it was an Ocean Road instead of a Street of Sisters. So still a 0 cost economy card. It wasn't really that bad in the great scheme of things, but it was still an inconsistency in my deck. Lee, who was running it, he's from a Magic background. And one thing I've noticed recently, having seen a few Magic tournaments, is they are a lot stricter, far stricter than we are. And I didn't think it was a big deal, but I got that card turned around, and I played with a blank card for the rest of the tournament. And I was lucky enough to get a loss. I did the deck check in a break. Had a deck check in the round, I would have taken the loss that round, and and I would have thoroughly deserved it. And I was pretty pissed off. But since I've come to realise it's my fault and I should have been more accurate. And as LCG players, we get away with an awful lot. I watched a Magic tournament the other day, and these guys were told if they weren't sitting in the chair when the round time began, they'd get a loss for the round. And the judge was saying that, and he meant it. So we get away with a great deal. So I think these sort of things you need to be on top of it, because it really, at the end of the day, is our responsibility to make sure our decks are completely legit.
So, okay, Stalik, since we've got the Europeans, what does Stalik do with deck checks?
Stalik takes all the people who've made the cut, and the time it takes, most people go from Baccarat Town Hall up to the castles to play the cut. The deck checks are done then. What I will say is they're pretty lenient with it. Last year, Reese was found to his deck list that he submitted didn't have any plots in there. So he didn't list any whatsoever. And by the time I asked him the questions about it, he
Can
was
we
quite drunk.
pause? Someone
So-
is.
Hold
Wait.
Aaron, could you kill your mic real quick?
I thought I was muted.
No,
Yep.
we
You're
have.
not muted.
We
Am I
hear
muted?
Super loud.
everything. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear
Oh,
you.
what the
but
fuck? My mute button isn't working. I'm flipping it back and forth. I'm sorry.
Just use the one you have on Skype. There's a
Yeah.
mute button on Skype.
Going to it. Sorry about
Okay.
Okay, Aaron's gone. All right, sorry, Craven.
Beautiful.
Could you start over again?
Yeah, sure.
Let's
So
take
yeah,
it
at
silence.
Starlick, what they do is when the cut is announced for the joust, everyone goes from the town hall and Baccarat up to the castle. There's a little break for everyone to drink or have a sleep or whatever. They do the deck checks then. And last year, Reese, who ended up, I think they didn't have an overall last year, but if they were to have an overall, Reese would have won overall title. His deck didn't have any plots written down in his deck list, which is quite a big deal after that amount of time. He just didn't write them down. So
Well, that
he
lets
was
you
put
just
to the
switch them out,
question-
right? Like,
Well, yeah, this is it. So he was put to the question and was told, if you can name X amount of your plots from your plot deck, you can carry on. But if you can't name the ones that are in there, you're out. And he managed to do it. But Bruce was running like a proper, pretty hardcore sign of rush deck, and he hadn't flipped more than 3 plots all day. So it was quite difficult for him to name the other 4. But Starlock was definitely more lenient. So I think what I'm trying to get from this, what I'm going to take from this is, having been on the end of a decision where my card was flipped round and being quite angry about it at the time, I've since come to realise that it was actually completely my fault and I just shouldn't have done it. And I should have been more accurate. And it's not hard. You know, you just have to look at your list of your cards, make sure it adds up to what's in your deck box, and then you're fine. It's just people being lazy if they get caught out. Really, at the end of the day, just do the due diligence on your deck list and you'll be fine.
They Stalik, they do the flipping of illegal cards and stuff like that, much like everyone else does.
So Ryan and Sid, you both have a significant much. I've been to Worlds once and Gen Con once, but you guys have significantly much more Worlds experience. What is your experience with Worlds deck check? I mean, Ryan, you've won it, so you can also talk from that side of things. So
I can't remember ever having had to give up my deck at Worlds or Gen Con. I've only done Gen Con once, but I think I've done 4 Worlds and never had it taken to my knowledge. Yeah, I think I've gotten more deck checks at our local San Diego store championships than I have at any big tournaments. That's maybe just the personality of the TOs or something, but yeah, I can't. Alex, one of our San Diego guys, mentioned in chat that 2 years ago there was a day break between the cut and the Swiss, and that they took that time to do deck checks. I think that's probably why they don't do it if it's a full day, is that it's just incredibly time consuming and the days are already super long. We don't go into 5 in the morning like the Stalag guys. We're not that powerful.
Before we go on, good news and bad news. The good news is happy birthday, Alex. The bad news is Tagore is in the finals.
Ooh.
Boo!
He's playing against Tomas.
Yeah.
Is Lanny Targ against Targ Lanny.
There it is.
Sounds familiar?
That's the best finals.
Kubla finals.
I know who wins that matchup.
Just activists. Tomas beat Evan in the semi-final, and I'm led to believe that Mr. Evan saw he won Netrunner yesterday in the same venue, and that's a field of 120. So to win that and to get to the semis of Game of Thrones the day after is bloody incredible.
That man's a machine.
It's his beard.
This is a 70. It is, yeah. He's a bearded Viking, and we can't stand before him. We've got a history of not being able to defend against Vikings, and it's playing out now. But I think there's 74 people at this regional, which makes it by far the largest regional in the UK.
It's larger than the US regional.
Time, definitely. It's the same venue that they did the Nationals in a few years ago. So in many ways, it's right at the Games Expo that's going on at the moment. So it's got a lot of people. But if it's the same Evan and my facts are straight, that is one hell of an achievement.
Absolutely. I'd still be asleep if I was in a 120 person tournament the day before.
I don't know, Ryan. You did 3 days of making the top cuts at Worlds this year, right?
But you have to drink really heavily in between to keep your energy up. Like if you don't, you'll just fall asleep.
Because by the end of by the end of the melee, you looked like you were about to die.
Oh my god!
I was gonna kill myself.
We were all pretty worried. Yeah.
Worst time I've ever had in Game of Thrones, physically and just the game. Just the awfulness.
I want to say one more thing about these deck checks. I think it's way more widespread, these inconsistencies, than anyone really thinks. I don't think Missouri was some huge anomaly. I think at most big tournaments, if you checked everybody, you'd find a ton of inconsistencies. I just don't think people take their deck lists seriously at all. It's like a pain. No one pays that much attention to it. They just scribble down stuff.
No, the mistake in Missouri wasn't like they just scribbled down stuff. They had literally illegal decks. They didn't misreport. That's not the same thing. And B, they're inbred hillbillies. So that's probably part of the problem.
Wow.
But misrecording opens up the door for intentional cheating. You can just say, whoops, I wrote down the wrong card. I mean, like the instance in Stalag of no plots. I'm not saying that he cheated. I'm sure he probably didn't. But there's no way to verify, right? There's no way to do it.
Yeah, Bruce didn't cheat. He's just a complete idiot.
Right.
Yeah.
These guys submitted illegal deck lists, right? Like it was 11 dragon cards on their deck list.
Yeah, their deck lists were accurate.
I can't stomach submitting and writing down an illegal deck list. Stuff happens when you're assembling the cards and you put in a last second thing.
Or something falls out.
Another good reason to run 61. But yeah, I can't fathom submitting an illegal deck list. So someone on that Facebook group mentioned just build your deck in Thrones DB. It'll tell you if you're illegal and just print it and then make sure your cards match it.
Yeah, but then they print it and then the day of they're scribbling out and adding and subtracting and having conversations and it all gets messed up.
I mean, the key thing is just lock your deck before you go to bed. Like that's what I do.
No, that's not the way to win.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
Is that what you're doing, Roy? There's your problem.
Yeah.
You need to be tweaking without testing the morning of, because you get that inspiration. It's really important to not test any of your last minute changes.
Okay.
Do you have deck checks? At what tournaments do you have deck checks?
We did deck checks at Red Saturday, but we didn't do full ones. We just counted the number of cards and the number of banner cards, and that's what we did. And if it matched their deck list, we went on. We didn't check each
Do you
individual
do it
card.
at the store championships and regionals, or?
Oh,
San
no. I
Diego,
mean,
we've
I
got
haven't
it.
run a regional this year, but both of the store championships I won, we didn't, which led to, of course, the Aaron problem. But also, I mean, just time was way too tight for me to be able to check decks for the top 8. Stores are very much like, I've had people complain about having to time store championship, top 4s, because the store's like, you've got to get out of here by X period of time, and I have to do timed rounds.
Pokemon's coming in. You got to get
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, or Magic. It's usually Magic.
Yeah, we've never made a deck check in Sweden ever.
Not
even
once.
Not even at Warburg Morgulis, I think. Maybe.
Bunch of
We will.
cheaters.
We will this year and at
Cheaters.
nationals.
You're all cheaters.
But
Yeah.
that's why we win abroad as well, where they do deck checks.
I mean, the Missouri thing definitely. I mean, also we had some trouble at the New Jersey regional, which was like there was a similar situation where one person had they did do deck checks. There was one person with an illegal 11 banner card deck, and he got disqualified and was super upset. But he, of course, didn't go on the Facebook group and complain about it. And then there was a couple times where like people didn't return cards. So like there were a couple Milk of the Poppies from your opponent that were shoveled into people's decks.
That was tough.
Someone
Yeah.
messaged me the other day that happened at a tournament. They were like, "What do we do?" I was like, "Honestly,
Yeah.
just give the milk back. That's just
Yeah.
That happened
like
to me.
you
Like,
have the
my
same
opponent-
sleeves. You have the same sleeves.
My
Shit
opponent
happens.
stole a Winterfell Kennelmaster from me with Yorin, and he didn't return it at the end of the game. And luckily, I was drawing 61 cards, which is what got me a warning, not a
Yep.
game loss. So it went down to 60 cards. So I still had a legal deck. He just gave me a warning, and I got the card back. But I told Larry, who was TOing, I said, "Look, if you give me a loss, or even if you want to disqualify me, like I'll be upset and angry, but it's your like it's gonna be
fucking
your
hate you, but
yeah,
it's
like,
okay.
but you're the TO, and if that's what you think is going to protect the integrity of the tournament,
Yeah.
make the decision you need to make. Like that's the key thing to me. It's perfectly fine to be upset when things don't go your way because you screwed up your deck list, you dropped a card, between the walk from your hotel room to the center, whatever happens. Like sometimes shit just happens, and it's okay to be upset. It's okay, but to go on public forums and complain about TOs just because they're following the rules or trying to interpret the rules in a way that protects the integrity of the tournament, like that's what upsets me more. It's not that, oh, I'm angry that this bad thing happened to me. That's great. Totally vent to your friends, go and have a bunch of beers and complain, or give your friends a hard time about writing 6 poke to the swords when 3 is the legal number. Like things like that. That's fine. But publicly
no.
attacking people
Like,
that
just-
organize and run these tournaments,
Just talk to people individually. You don't need to do shit publicly.
I agree.
Unless you want to shame them. And if you want to shame them, then you should create your own podcast to shame all your friends. Clearly, that's the answer.
Do you guys do anything after rounds in big tournaments to make sure that you're still at your card count? I have a pretty good ritual of shuffling as soon as I'm done with the game and the opponent's left, and counting and shuffling at the same time, making sure I hit that same number after every single game.
I go to the
Yeah.
bar.
I
Not
shuffle before each game. I shuffle 7 piles in order, and so for it to be 61 cards, the last pile I put on is the 5th every time. So I know.
Makes sense. Ever since I lost the Kennelmaster, I now count.
Yeah.
Before each round.
I just count.
I do it
so
twice
that's-
because I'm terrible at math and occasionally
Oh yeah,
count.
it's
just
super
count
high
how much
numbers
of the
too.
sword.
It's-
Yeah, I know. I can't keep it straight. Basic arithmetic. That's why I was in math for college prep math in high school, which was not college prep math.
Cal, yeah. I'm not going to say anything about that. Had a teacher thought that's just really doesn't need to be said.
What about Craven? Since you're the only one of here besides Aaron who's had BDQ'd, do you have a ritual now to prevent this from happening?
And it wasn't DQ'd.
I wasn't DQ'd. I think DQ'd. I had the card flip, but I table shuffled between rounds. So I just make 6 piles, and then they should be equal with 1 left over because I always run 61 cards. So yeah, I just table shuffle to get around it.
You the same, Sid?
Yeah, I count. After every game. I try to do it before the opponents got too far away from me. I'll
Yeah,
do a quick
that's
count of the game.
key, because if you realize it right before your game, you're SOL at that point.
Yeah. It's like there's usually a couple minutes of kind of chatting about the game as we're filling out the slip, and while I'm chatting, I'm just kind of counting right there as we go.
Yep, that's the move.
Yeah, I'm not doing any of that ever. Just DQ me if I fuck up. Like I've had
I count my tokens too. You don't want to end up the following round with like 14 or something and be like,
I've had that happen a few times.
Yeah, I mean, also, have you guys run into situations where like players have lost cards in tournaments? But this happened at Gen Con. I remember someone lost their black sales agenda at Gen Con last year, and Nate was like walking in between it's like someone lost their copy of Black Sail. It's like on their deck list. Their deck list is legal. They have
Right.
all of their other cards, but their copy of Black Sails. Like, have you run into situations like this where someone like walks into a tournament with a legal deck and an illegal deck list, but
I
something
should've-
happens?
Yeah, I
Happened
showed up
to
with
me
House of
last
Dreams
year.
deck and I forgot House of Dreams.
oops.
I was in France for Tournoi de Le Mans last year as well. And so I made the top 16, and they made a deck check. And after the rounds, I was swapping English cards for French cards with a friend of mine. And then they were like, "Oh, we need your deck." So I put it back into the box as best as I could, and it was 58 cards.
Cheating.
Cheating.
Man. Swedish
And-
meta. I had no idea.
yeah, I
had
see.
No
Dirty.
idea.
And they told me, and before they started making the deck checks, and we went away to have drinks and eat and stuff, and the cut is on the day after. So late at night, while I'm fairly drunk, they come up to me and say, "Hey, your deck is illegal, so you will play with 3 blank cards tomorrow." And I was like, "No." No, why? And I was so upset. But it turns out that the guy I swapped cards with, he had 3 of my cards. So I got them back, had 61 cards again, and got to play and lost, but still.
So wait, so even them thinking you only had a 58 card deck and went that whole way, they were going to let you continue playing.
Yes, with 3 blank cards. Yes.
But even
Because
so,
it was obvious, because everything was correct, except
Right.
3 cards were missing. So I would have to play with 3 blank cards, because it was kind of obvious that I had lost them somewhere, but I didn't have them. So,
But they didn't know any of that, right? They just were like, "Oh,
No.
he's been playing with a 58 card deck." To them, that's what they thought, and that's
Yeah.
that wouldn't have been an immediate DQ on their end.
no,
That's interesting.
I'm a pretty good friend with all of
that's
them,
your
of course, and
that's who you know.
uh,
It's a ring
could-
of cheaters.
yeah.
That's what it is. A
Cheating
cadre.
propagates. This
No, I
institution.
think they trusted me that they were missing somehow, but they had to make me
Crooked
play
buzz.
with blank cards.
Crooked buzz.
But in the end, we found them in this other guy's deck.
Okay.
Roy, can
Any,
you check Facebook,
so
by the
any-
way?
Me? Sure. So any other comments for people about did that fix it, Andres?
Deck legality.
Yeah, deck legality and things like that.
I feel like there needs to be a crackdown because I think people are a little too willy nilly with their decks and their deck lists. Buzz. The truth comes out. The truth comes out.
Now we know how you won that big tournament.
I know.
Yeah.
Jeez.
He's like, man, I always find these jumper events. I don't know how.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're so good. I want to have them all the
Hey,
time.
well, I mean that is the most okay. Well, let me ask one question. So, how often? And we'll start with Craven. How often do you shuffle your opponent's, cut your opponent's deck or shuffle your opponent's deck in the middle of a game? Like, say they do the jumper event, that lets them, or they search their deck for a card. Do you cut a lot in the middle of the game with your opponent?
Honestly, it depends how much I like them. If I like them and they're kind of a drinking buddy or whatever, I tend not to, because I feel like if we're pals and I cut your deck, it's kind of like I'm saying I don't trust you. So with strangers or people that I've just met, we do it every time. But if it was like Dave or someone, I just kind of tap it. And when I get really offended if they cut mine, I'm like, what are you saying?
Yeah, I have. It's a ritual of mine to never ever cut a deck. Not before the game, not after they've reshuffled it after a search or anything. I never ever cut a deck. If so, I usually tell them, so no, I won't cut your deck. If you're cheating, that's on you, and you will have to live with that.
Heavy.
I mean, if they shuffle badly, I'm like, come on, man, shuffle better. or I would actually cut it or shuffle, but no, I never ever cut.
I'm in a similar situation. I didn't cut a single deck the whole day I made the top 16 at Gen Con, and then when I went to Worlds, I cut people's decks and I did terribly. So I was like, all right, never cutting decks ever again. like, sorry, I don't care. Like, hopefully you're not cheating. And if you're gonna, like, my attitude towards cheating at Thrones, like, if you're gonna cheat at Thrones, like whatever, man. Like, what? There's no money here. Like, if you're just trying to fuck people out of the prizes that we get and the praise and glory that you get, then you're just a giant fucking asshole.
Right.
Like, even more than cheating at like Magic. Magic, at least you're cheating for money. But like cheating at Thrones, like, come on.
The only time
totally agree with that.
Oh, go ahead.
I totally agree with that. I always say the same thing to people. But if you're that good, if you can stack your deck that well to win at this, then why aren't you sitting at a poker table somewhere?
Yep, I've had the same thought like 10 times. Like, look, if you're really cheating at this and you're good at it, you're a bad decision maker.
Yeah.
Also,
Or do something else.
who's Larrick Bortz?
That's
he's the
end
guy
playing.
who I had he's the guy who I had a discussion with on Discord.
Larrick Bortz, I don't know you, but you're coming off as an asshole. You should stop.
What is he
Like-
complaining because there's no spoilers yet?
No.
We're saving him.
No, I just opened the spoiler thread. He's still going on about that shit. Like, dude,
Okay.
fuck you. Like, you have no idea how long this kind of shit takes. Like, we're all sitting here Saturday afternoon. Shut up.
The only time I really make sure to cut a
justified.
deck.
Sorry.
Oh, we're back on topic. Okay, go ahead.
Back on topic, yeah. I was just gonna say the only time I cut a deck is if it's like where I make sure to cut a deck is if it's a stranger and they kind of clearly don't offer the cut. They just kind of do their search, they do the thing, and just slide it right back to its home position. I kind of get a raised eyebrow. I'm like, hey, you mind if I cut that deck real quick? And then, only if it's a stranger. If it's someone I know, if it's Ryan, I just I let
you have to offer it. Like, that's the thing.
You gotta offer.
I always offer it, and almost no one ever does it. But it's like it's a gesture, you know. It's
someone
not about,
doesn't
I think
offer.
you're a cheater. Yeah.
Red flags.
Red flags. It sounds like it's more of a superstitious thing, at least amongst us. Like, I'll do it or not do it depending on just how I'm feeling that day and whether I think if the mojo is with the cut or not. So it's never about do I think you're cheating. It's did I win last game when I cut or did I lose last game when I did cut? Like,
if
I'm
the
moment
force
to
is
moment on
strong with that game, I trust my cut, and I'm just like, I'm gonna give you crap. Watch, boom, and it works.
Yeah. Like if
Craven,
the destiny was against them, like they shuffled and put all their bad cards on top. Like if I think they're a bad player, I bet they'll just shuffle their bad cards on top. So I'm not going to touch it. But I'll always cut a good player because he can shuffle really well.
Guys, it's a dark day for Thrones.
What has happened?
Tagore won?
No.
All right. Oh, does that mean he's going to go to Worlds again this year?
Yeah.
No,
This was
it's
a
a
national.
regional. It's a big regional.
It's a reason.
Unless I'm wrong and it was just that game, because all the comments are about Tagore winning and that. So it's a dark day for Thrones. It's a dark day. We've got that guy whose name I already forgot how to say, being obnoxious on Facebook, and Tagore won the regional.
Laric?
Yeah, I don't care.
Well, let's keep things upbeat here. What's the next topic?
Oh, we ready for the next topic?
I
We're
think
ready
so.
for the next
Are we still
topic.
yeah, I think we're ready.
So
Special topic.
coming out of the first cycle, I want us all to agree on ranking each house, and then ranking each house as a banner.
Agree.
want
We
us
have to
to
come to a
agree?
consensus.
We have to come to a consensus.
Oof.
That's only the first part, by the way. So do you want to do as a house, as a main house, or as a banner? I feel like it's easier as a main house.
Main house.
Yeah.
Let's go with main.
All right.
Give me the rationale. What is the rationale for this exercise in futility? I want the
What's
rationale.
the rationale for everything we do on this podcast? I thought it would make for decent radio when we talked about shit and pause.
Buzz just had a slight aneurysm when you gave the
Yeah,
suggestion.
yeah.
I could see it.
Because we never agree on anything, so let's fucking force us to agree. Like, all right. So the worst house is Tyrell or Night's Watch.
Craven, you first. Which is the worst house, Tyrell or Night's Watch,
Or something else.
or something else?
What, as a main banner?
Main house.
Main house. Yeah.
Mm,
I'm keeping track, by the way. I'm moving forward back.
Tyrell.
Anyone disagree? So we don't have to. Does anyone want to make the case for Night's Watch being worse than Tyrell?
Night's Watch is worse.
Wrong.
I'm gonna make the Night's Watch's worst case really quickly. Alex Trigg thinks he can make Tyrell work, and no one can make Night's Watch work. Is that compelling, anyone?
No, I mean it's a convincing argument. It's a persuasive argument, but I don't know if it's fully convincing. I am more on the side that I think Tyrell. I mean, the Night's Watch discard deck is still a deck like that can win. It's not as good as many of the other, top tier decks now. But
So
I think
why isn't Tyrell Knights?
because I think the discard deck is stronger than Tyrell Knights because Tyrell Knights doesn't have removal, or good versions of it don't really have that much
House
removal.
Florent Knight.
Yes, besides House Florent Knight, it doesn't have a
Bad.
huge amount of removal.
Very
in the
bad.
same way that that, particularly since people don't play around Varus, that discard deck can really catch you.
You know what? I've got something pretty controversial to drop in, and I feel like this is the place to do it. So I'm just going to go ahead. All right? This is tough for me to say, but I don't think either of those are the worst at the moment.
You think
And
Greyjoy
what
is?
I do think is the worst is Greyjoy.
Greyjoy.
Oh, okay. Why, Craven?
Because Greyjoy is so completely and utterly at this point one-dimensional. If you aren't doing the whole unopposed thing and that's going your way, it falls down. Their draw is pretty much reliant on it being unopposed. They are superior. Like they are so weak to not only the intrigue challenge, but Tears of Bliss, and now Tyene just run rampant amongst Greyjoy. Once you shut down that unopposed tech, they really do have nothing.
Yes, but
As a main house,
right, but they have.
and they aren't drawing the cards. I think they're so easy to disrupt, and it really, really upsets me because I'm on board through and through for first edition, but I don't feel that passion in second ed, and I genuinely think Tyrell and Night's Watch are better than both of them.
So while Greyjoy only has one path to victory, Tyrell doesn't even have a path to victory. like
No, but Tyrell's a lot more flexible in what it does in many ways. It's got the renown is a better spread. It's got much better card draw. It's got the economy base to power a lot of this sort of stuff, and it's got much and more, which makes it immediately better than most people. Yeah.
Is anyone else going to vote Greyjoy below Night's Watch or Tyrell?
I was thinking about it actually before Craven brought it up. I think it's more likely that you win a tournament with Tyrell Night's Watch than you do with Greyjoy, but you're more likely to place well with Greyjoy, I feel.
So we're fairly okay. So Greyjoy came in
I
second
think
in
that's
New York in a really strong field, which is skewing them up for me.
Yeah, I beat Ingsui in the final and he played Greyjoy.
Like if Greyjoy's placing that well at real tournaments, I think it's at least like I'm willing to put it third from the bottom, so that's where I had it to begin with. But like I just don't think it's worse than the other two bad ones. Like if you're Tyrell or Night's Watch, what you're best at doing is using other houses' good cards. Like at least
Well, I
Greyjoy.
think that with Greyjoy, other houses are better off using your cards. I mean, that Greyjoy deck, which placed second, it was propping up Miri with Greyjoy stuff.
Yeah.
It wasn't really Greyjoy doing the lifting there, but the real killer there was Miri. You take that out, and the Greyjoy deck kind of needs her to
Fizzles.
bring it up.
Sure. But like you can't even stick Miri and Terrell in Night's Watch and have her be good. Like you stick Miri and Terrell, and it's like, well, I can afford her, but now she's just gonna sit here and be bad.
Greyjoy just isn't the fearsome thing that it was in first edition, and that makes me really, really sad.
Oh, I don't think they're good.
Yeah.
Um,
It doesn't make them last though.
Yeah, we're just on different degrees of shitty.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
also,
I think
while we're on the subject, Dagmar Cleftjaw is a fucking insult.
Wait, what's an insult?
Dagmar, you print a 7-cost
yeah.
character like him and drop it into Greyjoy and expect us Ironborn to be happy with it. It's trash.
Someday good or no?
Well, the thing is, someday good used to matter when we didn't have rotation, but
Right,
in a few
5
years'
years from
time,
now.
he's off. So he needs to get really good, really fucking quickly, because otherwise that's just a waste of my money.
I also think that like there are better ways to do what he does with Greyjoy. Like even if they're 2-card combos, they're way more interesting 2-card combos than the 1 card that is Dagmar. Right?
Yeah.
Euron and We Do Not Sow
Yep.
can do the exact same thing, and Euron's a fucking Tricon.
You're on the
Yeah.
card.
Like,
Yeah.
Good.
it's that simple to me at least. And or oh my god, newly made Lord and Euron. Like there's a lot of all synergies already in Greyjoy that do what this 1 card does, but this 1 card does it. If he didn't have to attack alone, that might be better. But
I mean, there's lots of ways he could be better. He could not be shit. That's how he could be better.
he is more renowned, I guess. I don't know. But
I mean,
You could, with a blank text box and like another keyword, he'd be better.
Yes.
Yeah. Or Intimidate or something. Yeah.
Or is he even a lord?
No. He's Ironborn Captain.
Captain.
Like literally, you can make his text box blank and make him a lord, and he would be a better lord.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's insane. All right. So wait. So we're gonna go.
Aaron said consensus, which we have not at all reached.
Not
Oh.
So
All
It's
right.
gonna take a vote.
So it's gonna take a vote. So bottom house, everyone get an order.
Well, my point is taken already. I think it's Greyjoy.
All right, so
Okay.
1 vote for Greyjoy. I vote Tyrell.
Two votes.
No, two votes for Greyjoy.
Oh, here we go.
1 for Tyrell. Sid.
Europe.
Tyrell
on.
for me.
All right, so that's 2-2.
Night's
Ryan.
Watch.
Night's Watch.
Night's
All right,
Watch.
1 Night's Watch. All right,
Aaron,
Aaron.
say Night's Watch.
I wanted to say Night's Watch so bad, but I honestly do.
But they can run Lanny cards so well.
Yeah,
They can fund the Lanny army.
Yeah, but you know what actually pushes Terrell down a little bit? Every time I think about the Arbor, I get a little bit angry. Like Night's Watch is bad, and every time I think about them, I laugh at Joe. But like every time I think about Terrell, I get angry.
And
So-
how about the fact that Tyrell's like big bomb card of the first cycle was the Arbor? Like they didn't even get a 7-cost guy. I know Cleftjaw sucks, but at least
They're
they
getting there.
tried.
They're getting there. They're growing stronger.
Oh,
Yeah, they've got much and more. Come on.
Yeah. How could they be the worst house?
no,
Yeah, that should be a neutral card.
if it's not much and more, then it's not as fun. Like if
It's
you change
always
the name,
much and more.
if you change the name, is it really still much more? Now it's a little less.
You can identify how cool someone is by what they call that card.
Yeah.
If someone pulls it out and goes, "Oh, gift from the Arbor Red," they're a sucker. Don't talk to them.
Someone said
If
that.
they call it
I
much
didn't
and
even know
more,
what,
then
you know what card it was. Like, what?
Yeah, it's the same with scouting, like raiding longship / scouting vessel.
yeah,
I still call it scouting vessel all the time, and people just look at me like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, raiding longship." But yeah, that card's always gonna be much and more. Even if it's
Rating
objectively
Lockup's so
worse.
much worse though.
It's
Guys,
a
we
lot
have another
worse.
we have another vote to do already.
All right,
Night's Watch or Greyjoy is our vote. Which is worse?
Night's Watch.
Night's Watch.
Night's Watch.
Greyjoy.
So Night's Watch takes the day.
Night's Watch.
Greyjoy is only the 3rd shittiest of the houses.
Yeah, I think we all agree
They're all
that.
pretty close.
Can we go to the best house next and not have an argument?
Well, we've got the bottom 3 sewn up. Yeah, we aren't.
Yeah.
No one's arguing this, right?
Go top down.
Yeah, so now we
Yeah,
can go
we'll
up to
start
Lannister and just add Lannister as the best house and move on.
Baratheon.
You think
You
Baratheon's
think
better than
Baratheon?
Okay.
Okay,
Right.
fine. Lannister.
I mean,
Lannister's the best.
All right,
You
well,
convinced me. You convinced me.
All right. Well, I think the second place slot is actually going to be pretty debatable because I think there are 3 houses that.
Yeah, but no,
equally
let's build
compete.
to the second place. Let's just add Lannister at the top, and now we have.
Yeah, well, I mean we've already done that, right? Nancy agreed Lannister is the best
No,
house.
Buzz says no.
What, Buzz? What's
So-
the best house?
So we're talking about the end of the first cycle meta, right?
Correct.
now.
Now.
Yeah.
Right now,
Right.
yeah.
Today's
Right
meta.
now.
So Lanny is not the best. Martell is.
Ooh.
Mm-mm.
Nope.
No.
You know how?
You
you know how
suck.
Lannister,
Come on.
You know how
You're
Lannister
stupid.
beats
Oh,
Martell?
you're stupid.
Wait, you know how Lannister beats Martell? It just doesn't attack. It just sits there and waits, wins.
It's
I'm
gonna
sorry
be
to
scary
break
going
our
into the next
European
cycle.
lock, but Lannister is better than Martell.
There you go.
I'm willing to argue Martell over Raytheon for second, but we'll get there.
We'll get there. Okay, so we have what? 5 votes.
We're missing
for-
And something else, right?
Well, okay, but we need to talk about the second one, right? Because I do think there's actual debate. I think there's
No,
3
let's save that.
houses.
Wait,
Now it's
no. Let's go back to the 4th worst house.
Oh my God, this is jumping around in a way.
Yes, it is.
4th worst house. Okay, so we have Tyrell at the bottom, Night's Watch, Greyjoy. So 4th worst. Okay, there's 8. So the exact middle of tier house.
There's Tark. Wait, what house am I forgetting?
No, the
There's
middle is
Targ. We have
5.
Targ, Stark, Baratheon.
Stark or Targ has to
Martell.
be next, right? Because it's not Barrow or
I
Martell.
think it's Targ.
We need 5th worst. Yeah.
I mean,
I think Targ is the worst. Is
Targ.
worse than Stark.
what's worse, Targ or Stark?
I think Stark is better than Targ right now. As a main house, I think Stark is better.
I agree.
Martell in the 5th slot.
What?
Ooh,
What?
Whoa!
No
Ooh.
way.
Wow. Okay.
Craven.
All the bad players in California play it, so my skew is like
I think
Oh,
he's
shots
just
fired
trolling.
at John,
He's
right?
just trolling Johnny at this point.
He definitely is.
Johnny's so good. All right, fine. God, I don't want to put any of them there. I think there's a really strong second tier.
I think Targ is lower than Stark.
I think Winterfell just and all the crazy renown that Stark has.
Why
is
do
What
you
happened
like
to Targ?
Winterfell? Why do you like Winterfell? It's so
Winterfell
bad.
is so
It's
good.
so
It's
It's
bad.
so
incredible.
Oh my
It's
god.
such a good location.
It's
Craven,
absolutely
come on,
incredible.
help me here.
I'm sorry, Buzz. I think Stark is better than Targaryen.
No, we're not talking about Stark yet. This is about
Just Winterfell.
Winterfell.
Oh, well, we need to
Winterfell
decide.
is
Well, what is
bad.
one tier above Greyjoy? Like, I think generally we're moving
Well,
towards
it
targets
could be a
groups.
humongous.
What do you
ti- It could be a humongous tear jump, right?
Right.
I think with the new Stark box, Stark does jump Targ, but only barely. Only barely.
It's close. Well, I feel like Targ only has one deck, right?
I mean, they can
Doesn't make
still
it
do
bad.
Targ Fealty, and they can still do Targ Crossing, and they can be
Yeah.
effective, but
Crossing's a deck. Lion's a deck.
Yeah.
Lion is the deck I think.
Mm,
right.
Lion.
There's a crossing deck that can put the hurt on.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
put
it's glass
Stark at the
cannon-y.
5th.
So, I think you're the only one that has Targ above Stark right now, though. Does anyone else
I'm
have
the
Targ
only
above
one.
Stark?
I'm
No.
the only one that matters, right?
Mm.
Right?
I
Yeah,
actually,
I mean,
I actually
right?
think Martell's 5th, so I'm going to abstain.
That's crazy talk. That is crazy
There
talk.
might be a fight between the Red Beards.
Martell's
So,
5th.
all right.
for
Well,
sure.
more seriously, Ryan, if you actually think Martell is
Ooh.
the 5th
Hey.
one, why?
Hey, a really good point. Wait, pause. Winterfell loses a ton of value once the next cycle is out.
Right,
Because-
but we're talking about the end of this.
Yeah.
cycle.
It's an important thing to note. Listeners should know.
I mean, that's the point where Greyjoy.
Future
becomes a problem.
listeners should know. Yeah.
Yeah, future listeners should know in 2 chapter packs from now. But right now, Winterfell is very good. I would say it makes the Martell matchup for Stark kind of laughable.
Yeah.
All
I've
right,
never
fine.
had a problem with the Martell deck as playing Stark with Winterfell.
You
I'm off
haven't
it.
played me.
Well, you're just better than me, Buzz. I don't count like when I play against people who are just objectively better than me. I just always lose to those people almost.
So
always.
I think we need to
But-
set up an octagon game for our listeners.
Ooh,
That's not gonna happen
challenge.
today.
Second
but-
Sons challenge. Let's do it.
Ugh.
Hey,
So,
by the way, off topic, but fuck it, who cares? Hey, who's up for a cast on Wednesday? Buzz? Buzz, it's on you, Buzz.
4 days from
uh,
now.
aren't we doing every
Yeah, but I'm not
2
doing White
weeks.
Book Wednesday, and I like podcasting.
Are we not doing White Book Wednesday?
Nah,
This
I
is
got-
too insight paper.
I got a
You
message from Will that like what we did this week is just gonna go whatever. So yeah,
Okay, so there's no White Book. We'll figure it out. Listeners,
Okay.
viewers, we'll
Fifth
figure it out.
is Stark, right?
No,
no.
Okay,
Fifth is
yeah,
Targ, then Stark.
fifth is
No.
Targ.
No.
Stark.
Okay.
All right, let's vote.
Yes,
Let's
right.
not- Wait, hold on. What? We're not actually debating now, so people aren't actually learning anything. All right, so
Stark.
Buzz,
Stark.
what is your vote? Your vote is Stark.
Stark,
Why is Stark
yes.
fifth worst?
Because Night's Watch is probably better.
Oh my god.
Whoa, it's all
All
upside
right.
down.
I mean,
Oof.
the banner of the wolf is great right now. It's superb, but the main house, no.
Okay. Craven, what is your fifth worst?
Targaryen.
Targaryen, why?
I think they have had objectively the worst cards in the chapter pack releases.
Wait. Except that they got the best card.
Apart from
Hold on,
Miri,
Aaron. Let Craven finish.
apart from Miri and apart from Crown of Gold, none of which I think have done them many favors as a main house. So yeah, that's my take.
Ryan, what do you think? So you,
I'm gonna switch to Stark. I don't know. Everything seems too expensive, like for what they want to do. Ice costing 3, all the Eddard at 6. Like I don't think they can afford that and be impactful consistently enough.
okay. Sid?
I'm gonna go with Stark only because the Targ Lion deck is really good, and I think it gives them the bump. They're better than the Targ Lion deck is better than any Stark deck right now. So I think
Yeah.
you have to put them above.
Totally agree.
I think some of this may just be meta dependent, but Aaron, last.
I think I have Targ below. I feel like I played Targ a few times recently, running an awful lot of dragons, and then kept hitting Dracarys with no dragons, and then dragons with no Dracarys, and then first snow at the wrong times. And I just feel like there's a lot out there in the meta that makes a lot of Targ's best stuff less effective.
Okay. I also vote Targaryen, largely for the reasons that both Craven and Aaron have said. So I think that puts us one vote of Targ over Stark.
Yeah, democracy.
So
Wait, no, that was 3-3.
Oh,
I think
3
that
and
was
3.
3-3. That
Was
was
it
a
3 and 3?
split.
Stop
Straight
railroading
split.
this.
all right, so
So we have a dead even point. So we're gonna call them.
Do we just put them 5-6?
Yeah.
Or
they're
I mean
equal.
5-4?
Yep,
5-4.
they're equal. And now we have to figure out Baratheon against Martell. Go ahead, redheads.
yeah. So
Martell is 2. They have to be.
I think Baratheon's too.
I think Baratheon's 2.
I think
Martell's
that-
at 3.
I think they
I
have
also-
more that they can do. I mean, less that they can do, but more ways to do it.
I think Baratheon more consistently beats Lannister than Martell does, and that makes it better.
That's definitely a strong argument for Barra.
I think if you look at the consistency levels of both houses across the whole cycle, Baratheon's always been a competitor, and they've only got better. Whereas Martell weren't really competitive, and they got better the longer it went on. So if you look at
Right.
just
They're
how
finally
much,
at the table.
yeah, exactly. They've come to the table and they're good, but Baratheon was already there. I mean, if we go back to the core set times, most of the salty tears from Card Game DB were about how Baratheon was unfair and Neil and all this sort of bollocks, and that's
So
never really
just-
gone away.
That was so much
So,
fun.
so
I mean,
if you look at it that way, Baratheon has always consistently been a big hitter, and you can throw a Baratheon deck together, which is barely changed from the core set, and it still works. So for that reason, I think they are up there above Martell.
But they're not
Baratheon
heavy hitters
ha-
right now.
Yeah, Baratheon
Oh, go
has
ahead.
been great. It has been really consistent. It has been a lot of things. But
Past
right
tense.
now, at the end of the cycle, Martell is the bomb. I'm having them above Lannister, so you know that I can't put Martell in third. That's impossible.
Yeah,
I might.
he's right. It's past tense. I mean, right now, Barra is not wrecking tournaments. But Martel is. I mean,
No one
Martel is winning
plays
big
Barra.
tournaments and small tournaments.
But no one plays Barra. That's why it's not ranking tournaments. Like
So no one plays Barra, including the people on this cast, but it's still number 2. Like, what are we talking about? Come on, guys. Come on.
I mean, this is the classic Barra problem, though, right? Because Barra, like, think about Barra Fealty, right, which won all of those like first set of tournaments coming out of the core set, and then people just really did stop playing it. Because to be completely honest, many Barra decks, while they can win, are not fun to play. Like, they're not fun to play as the player, and they're not fun to play against. And I do think that there is a bias against Baratheon, particularly Barra Fealty or Barra Hyperneal or Hyper Control, that is actually out there. Like, I mean, what I'm really going to say is what's going to be interesting to me is what people are going to take to Gen Con in a couple months, what people are going to take to Stalic, and what people are going to take to Worlds. And I would imagine the knives really come out when it comes to those tournaments. And I think that there's going to probably be more Barra than what we're seeing right now. So I would put Barra number 2. But it's a close number 2. Like, Martel's still really great. Like, don't get me wrong. But
if I went to a tournament tomorrow and I hadn't had any time to prepare, I'd sleeve up a Barra Fealty deck, and I'd be fairly confident I'd do well with it. You know, they are that good. They're you can rely on them. You can fall back on them. They're like a comfortable pair of shoes. You know what you're getting out of them. So yeah, absolutely no doubt in my mind, a solid second.
So, in a head-to-head matchup,
Baratheon, if it really depends. Baratheon cannot win against Martel. They cannot win against Martel unless they run the dominance tech.
right?
Because that's the big issue for Martel.
That's the way to do it,
dominance
though.
Tech.
Yeah, but like that's the trick, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean, you say that like it's an out there strategy, but with many Martel
I
decks,
feel it's
Baratheon
very
decks,
50-50
it's a main
if
thing.
you ran dominance or not.
Really?
Very
I think
50-50.
I think there's only one Barra deck that doesn't run the dominance deck.
or
the
Hyperneal?
The Hyperneal Lion. It can
That's still-
run the dominance deck, but it doesn't have to.
That's still a really good deck, too. But I do think, and that shores up its Martel matchup with the green icons from Lion. All right, well, why don't we just split the difference? Because I think we're going to come down to 3-3 again.
No, we need to vote.
No, I think it went against me and Buzz, but
Yeah, I
you
think
guys are wrong.
All right, so I vote Barra. Sid, you vote Martel, correct?
For number 2, Martel, number 2.
All right. Buzz, you vote Martel as well? Craven, you're Barra?
Yes.
Ryan?
Barra.
And Glazer.
Martel.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it's a tie again.
There we go.
Okay. So
We should have
we're
had
just gonna
odd
split
numbers.
again. Yeah,
Right,
we
we-
more person.
This is a bad episode to try to get a consensus on.
We usually always had even numbers on this one.
I ruined
Okay.
it.
I think what we need to do is make a Facebook page for our podcast that barely exists, and have people vote on those two.
Okay,
What's
I can do that. We are getting listeners, we are getting an official logo this week. So it was designed by Michael Lamzik of South Jersey. He's a really good graphic designer. He did the AMC logo, and he also is the guy who did their really sweet alt art card, Lord of the Crossing, for the New Jersey Regional. So it's a really cool logo. I'm looking forward to. It could be a good place to promote it or debut it. Is what I'm thinking on a Facebook group. So
You know what pushed Martel above Barra for me? That fucking extra Martel build, that stupid crossing. Because I knew Martel Lion's good, I knew Martel Stag's good. Like, the stupid crossing build being good is just what pushed it up just enough.
Only
Are
when
we-
Jakob plays it, though.
Well, obviously,
Yeah.
Buzz plays it.
Yeah, what's
What
the
about
evidence
Buzz?
for that deck being good? Like, oh, Jakob won with it. He win with
Just-
anything. Win with a pile of dog
The
shit.
shady Swedish. meta.
Greyjoy. You mean Greyjoy
Fucking
Darkwing?
Swedish meta.
Oh.
He won with it when I was TOing.
Ah,
Oh.
see, that's risky.
You being Jakob once ever, you stop shit talking.
Well,
And I
Jakob stopped
voted on
playing-
your side.
I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
he's so Jakob has stopped playing Tyrell because when he came to New York and played in our Star Championship, he brought some like Tyrell Lion deck that just
Yeah, that was
did not do anything for him at all.
It-
He
it-
outplayed every single one of his players. Like I watched his games. I was TOing and his deck just didn't do anything for him. Like the deck like literally just lost these games. Like people were making misplays and they were just beating him because Tyrell cards are bad, as we said.
I played that Martell deck, the Yaka Buzz deck. I knocked on a bit and I was kicking people's ass. I was like, this deck's really good. So I played it against John. And John just grabbed a random Greyjoy deck. And what plot do random Greyjoy decks run? One of our random Greyjoy decks.
Weapons.
To the door.
Weapons at the door. And I was like, oh, I just lost. That was fun. The game was over. Like, that was just it. It was very sad. Weapons at the door is really good.
Do we want to do banners or do we want to do like top 3 cards?
No, because I know what we're doing next. Don't you try and help. We gotta do banners.
Okay. Bottom first, I guess.
Yeah.
Watch.
The worst banner. The worst banner is watch.
Oh
Watch,
yeah.
Yep.
Unanimous.
Trash.
Unanimous. All right, Buzz, are you feeling contrarian or do you agree?
He's looking contrarian.
He's
I,
trying to come up with a reason to disagree, but
just
he can't do it.
I actually faced a really good Martel watch in France, and I haven't seen anything good with the Rose banner in a while.
Yeah, I don't think Lanny Rose is bad. I think people just aren't playing it. I don't think it's the best, but it can still beat an awful lot of decks.
Sure.
That
I mean,
that Rose
I haven't
package
seen
has
either of them in
things.
a long while, but the watch banner impressed me a lot that time. It was a Martel Night's Watch aggro, hyper aggro.
Wow, aggro.
Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting. Because there was a Martel watch deck that made the top 8. Martel watch deck that made the top 4, top 8 in the New Jersey regional. That did. Then it just took a dump all over itself in the cut.
Ugh.
So
Dave
been there.
Bamford deck.
the guy set up like he set up like 2 locations and just didn't draw anything for the whole rest of the game. So yeah, I mean there's something there, but I think that's one build. Can we think of I don't know. I do think watch is pretty close to being the worst.
Yeah, sure. Let's watch
Yep.
worst.
Watch
Sure.
then Rose.
Ooh,
I
second.
don't know.
Well, wouldn't Johnny Wright say Sun?
Yeah.
He says that, but he's wrong. Like,
Yeah, he's just
No,
wrong. It's
No.
lower tier. I don't think Sun is a great banner.
I think
Yeah,
Sun
it's
is
not last.
there. 7th.
as
Yeah.
7th.
Yeah. Sure.
So we got a Sun Rose. Anyone else want to throw anything up?
I think it's Sun or Rose. I mean I would say Rose certainly. I think
I'd
Rose.
lean towards
Sun.
Rose as
Targ? Can
well.
we talk about Targ for a second?
There's
Not even 12 good cards for
Who cares?
Dragon.
Who cares?
Well.
There's 2 good cards, and you don't need any
Yeah.
others.
You just won with the Targ
Right.
banner, Jones. You can't vote Targ at the bottom. You can't do it.
I know I'm voting at 7th. Like,
No way.
Well,
So-
okay. The problem
save it
is
for
like
sixth.
Miri is such an outsized card that I think it just raises it certainly above Rose. I mean, because Miri just
I think so. Yeah.
she runs away with
Rose has
games.
great characters.
It does,
Doesn't-
but it,
Didn't we all agree that this game right now is who can put out the most quality, impactful characters right now? Like,
Or unless Miri takes them all off.
yeah, that's fair.
she's just a fucking machine gun. Like
Marjorie is really good against Miri.
I mean,
Boom.
that's
Point,
if you're
point.
that's true. But if you're Rose, I mean, depends on what you're Rose bearing for. Like she's good. She's good. Like that, maybe the Lanny Rose, but like I don't know. There's not enough intrigue icons.
I'm going out on a limb and suggesting that Rose is probably going to do that next then Martel. Does anyone want to vote Targ besides Ryan?
No.
I don't really vote Targ.
I just
Alright.
heard laughter, so let's say we're voting Rose and Martel.
Yeah.
Yep.
That seems reasonable.
Sure.
All right. Do we want to switch to the top then, Aaron?
If
Hold on.
if,
Oh,
gotta vote
if
Rose
Ryan
and
is if Ryan is throwing away his vote
I
on
think
Dragon,
Sun-
that means it won't be.
Sure, yeah. Put me down for Dragon.
All right.
All right. So it's one for. All right. So
Oh
we're
my
talking about
God.
for 7th place. It's one for Dragon.
Yeah.
Craven, you voted Rose or Martel?
I think you said Dragon.
I voted Rose.
Rose. Okay. So one for Rose. All right. Then Sid.
I think Martel's in the 7th spot. I like Rose better.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Buzz.
Yeah, Sun
Okay.
is
So
7th.
Sun. Okay. Aaron.
Rose.
Rose.
Roy, the tiebreaker. Breaker.
I'm also going to say Rose.
Ooh,
Ah.
If you can't have Tyene and you can't have Gas and Gray, why would you want to banner Martell, really?
Nymeria. It's Banner to the Nymeria.
By
Milk
herself,
is
she's not that
so
effective.
good right now.
Yeah.
Milk is too good.
Okay.
Nymeria
Do we want to switch to the top, or do we want to go and
I,
figure out?
I like going randomly to the top, and I think Lion is the top.
Ooh.
Lion is not the top banner?
I can't see any other option. It's got to be Lannister.
The only reason that Lion isn't the top banner is because then you can't main house Lannister.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, you can. You can do Lannister banner of the
Oh,
Lion.
sure. Yeah.
I think number one banner is probably Dragon. How many times can I vote for Dragon?
I'm willing to take.
Kraken or Dragon for sure. Okay. I think Roy is or someone is gone again, right? Is it Aaron that's fucking up? Well. American internet.
Hello?
American internet.
That
guys.
time was me. That time was definitely me. My Wi-Fi decided it didn't for a minute.
Hey, are we back?
Yeah, we
'Cause
are.
I just...
We're back.
All right,
Okay.
I'm back.
Everyone's here but Ryan.
Yeah.
Here's Ryan.
Ryan broke the cast by voting for Targ.
Twice.
It's the second worst and the best. What?
It's Lion. It lifts everyone up. It lets everyone have a taste.
So, is there a better banner than Lion? Any arguments for one?
Well, Buzz.
I think
Buzz,
it's
you were making
close.
noises.
Lion.
So what's second? All right. Well, what's your noise that Buzz and Sid? What are you leaning towards then?
I like
Stag?
Stark. I like Stark and I like Kraken at like the 2 spot. I think Lion still has 1, but it's getting closer. I think Stark is really good right now, and I think
Yeah.
Kraken is really good right now.
So Lion 1, then Stark, then Kraken. I can do.
I like Kraken too.
Stark or Kraken for 2.
2 is Kraken. Banner to the
Kraken.
Iron Mines.
Banner to
Yeah.
the Iron
Why
Mines.
would we talking
And-
about
and
the
the
top,
ships.
top one? Top.
Yeah, but Lion already won that. You were the only dissenter.
Okay, but
Yeah, maybe.
I think it's going to end up being the same block, which is
Okay, so
Ryan votes for
put
Dragon.
me down for not
All
for
right.
not Lannister at the top. That's
Because you can't Lannister to Lannister. It's a
Okay.
bad reason.
yeah. No, it's a really good reason.
Yeah,
it's
sure,
a very
that's
good
great.
reason.
But for seven other houses, their best banner is probably Lion.
Yeah.
No Kraken.
No,
Yeah,
no.
Kraken's
Except
too.
if you play
I
Greyjoy,
like
then
Kraken
it's Lion.
too.
Yeah, I think Lannister is a better banner for every single house than everything else.
It just brings so much character quality. It's stupid.
They keep printing good dudes. Remember how shitty?
No, it is boring, but it's still good.
Yeah, remember how shitty the characters were in first edition for Lannister too? Like it took them forever to get good characters. No one remembers that. Just me.
No,
Yeah,
we,
no,
we,
you're
we
not
never
wrong,
got
like-
good characters
Yeah.
for
Corset Jamie. I
Rhaenys.
have a special place for Corset Jamie.
It's an okay card, but like really good.
Queen
card.
Cersei was a good card.
Cersei was great.
She
the
was.
Shadows version. Yeah,
Shadows
she was
Tyrion.
great.
Shadows Tyrion turned it
Shadows Tyrion
Yeah,
and Tywin.
Shadows Tyrion.
Kingsguard Tywin.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Tywin was like
But I mean,
right at the end of the game.
still,
Whatever.
all of the other houses had better
Yeah.
bombs than Lannister all around.
Exactly.
It's cyclical.
But
Lannister
Lannister had
just had
broken draw.
shitty cards, but they drew so much cards, so it didn't matter. Okay, so Lion and second Kraken.
Second
Kraken.
Kraken, third Wolf.
Yep.
We all agree?
Yes.
Sid doesn't. Sid likes Wolf at the 2.
No, I like Kraken. I said Wolf and Kraken are my 2, 3. So I go Kraken 2, Wolf 3. I just
Yeah,
think
okay.
Stark needs to be top 3 though right now.
That's fine.
Yep.
And then
Wolf is nice.
Then
Fast
Dragon.
Eddie is a ridiculous card.
The last 2 houses are Dragon and what
Barra?
other house are we forgetting?
Barra.
Stag.
Oh,
There,
So Dragon's better than Stag, right? We can all just
Yeah.
agree to that.
Yeah.
Dragon,
I think so.
then Stag.
So next thing we're doing for each, we're going to say the most important card coming out of the core set and the most important card in the first segment
For each faction.
for each type of each faction.
Oh my god.
oh my god, dude. That's okay. That's gonna be hard to track.
It's going to take 2 seconds. I have the list. So we'll do Tyrell and Rose first. What is the best Tyrell core set card?
Marjorie.
Knight of Flowers.
Randall.
Wait, is
They're
this just
all-
in a core set meta or in the
No,
current
What are we
current
total
doing?
meta?
Current meta. What is the best
I don't know what we're doing.
Terrell? What is the best Terrell main house core set
Oh,
card?
at the end of the cycle?
Yeah, right
At
now.
the end of the cycle.
Oh, right now would be Knight of Flowers.
Knight of Flowers. I
I
agree.
like Knight of Flowers.
Marjorie,
Marjorie,
before what's her
Too
before
squishy.
I don't know the
Yeah.
Tyrell cards.
Is there an
Uh,
attachment? Oh, hey, no one's gonna vote much and more. Oh wait, that's cycle. Okay, so the best cycle Terrell main house card.
Arbor.
I think so.
Much and more.
Arbor.
I'm just gonna vote much and more.
Much and
because-
more. Is that now?
I go much and more. It's cycle. Yeah.
So I'm voting Arbor.
It's the Arbor if we think with our heads.
Yeah, it's the Arbor.
It'd
Which
be a
I'm
lot
okay
better
with
if you
not
could
doing
dupe
that. But
Alright, so I think this actually does change though, because this is why I want to do this. And like the Arbor has to change because it's loyal. But like, what's the best Terrell main house banner card?
what?
Knight of Flowers.
If you're
You're gonna
sorry,
have to
Terrell banner card. Like if
Just
you're banner
deal me
for
out
the
of this
road.
question. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next,
Uh,
you get a vote going. All right. So if we have Banner of the Rose, what's the best Terrell core set card right now?
Knight of Flowers.
Knight of Flowers.
See, I
Yeah.
think it's Marjorie
Says the
now.
same.
Like I think if you
Nah.
take it out of that environment,
First Snow, Ward.
yeah.
She can be stolen. She can
Yeah.
be killed.
Too
Ill in
vulnerable.
pain. Chops
Ill in
her
Pain
down.
makes her
Ill
cry.
and Pain.
Yeah, man.
It's Knight of Flowers.
Fair enough. Not much and more here. Oh wait, we gotta wait. Damn it! I keep doing that.
Yeah. Get
All
ahead
right,
of your
fine.
own
Fine. What's the best first cycle
non-loyal.
non-loyal Terrell card? Because I think this is
Oh.
the reason it's so close to the bottom. Because why the fuck would you banner to them? Because they're so shitty.
The Killer Knights, the Discard Knights.
Really?
Yeah.
House Florent Knights?
Yeah.
Oh, they're so bad.
Best. I mean, the only deck that has performed for them is
Is Knight-
the Martell Rose thingy with
Knight's
discard
deck, yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
I disagree. I'm gonna go with the Lady Searcher, which is that Hopper or Slobber.
But those decks aren't performing. These decks actually have won stuff.
I mean,
Martell Rose
because of
stuff.
the Florent Knight, or just is that?
Yeah, because they were built all around these knights. They've won two tournaments, one SC and one regional, I think.
I'm still gonna take the Lady Search. Lady
Yeah,
Searcher.
Popping him
But-
in mid challenge with Ariane can work. I've seen it work.
Yeah,
Yep,
someone
yep,
played
yep.
that against me, and it was cute. Oh, and then I won. So yeah, I'm gonna vote Hopper or Slobber, whichever one searches ladies, or Much and More. I'm willing to go with either one, but really, the House Florent Knight.
Yeah.
Is Ryan here?
I think we lost Ryan.
Ryan.
He said BRB. He's
Oh,
gonna be
Says
BRB.
he's here, but yeah.
All right. So anyone am I gonna lose the House Florent Knight because everyone went away?
No,
I
I
will-
think it's much and more. I think much.
I
and
will
more.
also vote for much and more as well.
That's 3 for Much and More. Much and More is gonna win. I'm just writing Much and More. I don't
I'm
really care.
typing down House Florent Knights here. Yeah, sure.
I've got
Great.
the list. Much and More took 3 votes to your 2 votes. Sorry, man.
I didn't
I'm
hear
I'm
anything.
refilling my coffee cup with some arsenic. If this segment is really gonna go through all 8 factions.
It is. It's gonna be great. Night's Watch. Go.
Let me just
Night's
pour
Watch?
something in here.
Best
Best
core set.
loyal
Core
card.
set. Loyal.
Core set.
House.
It has to be loyal.
No, sorry.
How-
Core
just
set.
any-
main
How
house.
can I know these cards? I've never unboxed these cards. How would I know?
So I'll do mine first, so you might actually know it. I'm gonna go Yorin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, Yoren's great. Yeah, I've played Yoren. Not my deck, but I've played it. It was fun.
All right.
Yeah, Yorin's a really good card.
It's
Yep,
Yorin or Messenger Raven, right? If you were,
Draw or
Yeah,
steal.
but I think it's Yorin still.
Yeah.
Yorin makes
Yorin's-
the whole discard deck work.
so then what's the best Night's Watch first cycle card? Right? What did they get this whole cycle?
Oh, there's
the
Raven.
Practice Blade,
Oh,
Practice
okay.
Blade, or the
Huller.
Holler.
No, I think I'm gonna go with
Because of the practice play, the Huller is so good.
I'm gonna go with the Old
Shadow
Bears
Tower.
Raven. I'm gonna go with Old Bears Raven.
Oh yeah, good call. I agree. I'll bear
Well,
Raven.
there's-
It gives
I'm
stealth.
willing to get behind that.
It gives stealth. Like just here, have stealth. That's
To a
awesome.
guy who you're not going to use to attack.
No,
Ever.
you don't have. I don't give a shit.
Halder.
Not-
If you've seen Tomas play, you would say Halder every
I've never
time.
seen them play.
so
even
good.
know. I don't remember what Halder does. What does Halder do? Oh, kneel for the
Kneel-
+1 strength.
Yes.
He's a monocon. Oh, it's all Night's Watch.
It's a power monocon.
I am definitely go. Oh wait, what about the one that makes What's the one that makes locations cheaper?
The builders.
Brandon's gift.
Brandon's
no,
gift.
No.
No, that doesn't.
The builders.
That's a
So
location.
As
like
soon as I said it, I knew it was wrong.
No, the builder that it's like builder at the wall or some stupid shit like that.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't know. We don't know the name of it. I'm gonna stick with Old Bears right.
all right. So core set non-loyal is what we're talking about now.
No, Corset. If you're, I don't know. I'm lost.
So you've
Oh yeah,
lost
no,
your
no, no. We're not on
It's
Corset.
segmented.
We're on this first cycle. If your main house is Night's Watch.
So Halder is what we decided here.
Thanks, Buzz.
Okay, so Halder, I can get behind Halder. I mean, sure.
All right. So is Halder taking this as a Night's Watch main house card?
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
Old Bears, Raven, or Halder.
Halder, all the way.
All right, and then I guess core set best non-loyal would be the ranging party.
Wait.
Yep.
No, wait. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I just deleted accidentally the. Sorry, I deleted Night's Watch entirely. Whoa, that's pretty good.
The ranging party. Oh, we have no voice for Ryan.
It's on
Right
purpose. I'll
We have,
jump in.
oh, there we go. Oh, okay.
Why is Ranging Party better than Eamon? Because of First Snow and all that shit?
Because he doesn't
Yeah, I
save
just-
non. Yeah.
He
that
just claim
word
soaks
is-
himself. I mean,
uh,
that's card advantage. That's
treachery.
gold advantage.
I mean, I
Treachery
would,
is not cool.
before first snow, I would have said Aemon, but post first snow, I think ranging party, just the efficiency is ridiculous.
And then no attachments as well, which helps now.
All right, I'm in.
All right, then we need the first cycles best.
We're back to Halder.
No, Halder's not good in a banner.
That's true.
So what is good in a banner? What did I say earlier?
All right.
Oh.
Joe.
About the builder.
I'm gonna since people have been taking breaks while we're talking about Night's Watch, I'm gonna go use the bathroom.
It's a good time.
Can we go Old Bear's Crow now? Because giving self to Tywin is awesome.
Sure.
I feel like I have to mention it because it's a raven. It's not a white raven, but it's still a raven. So I need to vote for it at some point.
All right, so Raging Party and Old Bear's Raven.
No arguments.
What?
I can't get up for Night's Watch discussions.
All right, we're done with
I
Night's Watch.
don't
We're
know
over.
any other cards, so sure.
Let's do. What house do you guys want to do next? What's the next lowest rated house overall? Targ, I guess.
No, we did Greyjoy. Greyjoy was our
Greyjoy.
first,
Greyjoy.
right?
Yeah, Greyjoy was like second on the other one though. Targ is sort of like trending down on both.
Sure, Targ.
So,
So Targ. All right, Targ should be easy. Best corset card, Danny. Oh no, Dracarys.
Dracarys.
Yeah, Dracarys. And then
Yeah.
the best one is Miri, right?
Yep.
Yes.
She's,
Chapter cycle Mary for sure.
she's okay.
Anyone gonna argue Dracarys and Miri? Because that sounds like a losing argument.
Nah.
Banner of the Dragon corset. Illyria? Buzz, you're typing too much.
Yeah,
Illyrio's
Illyrio.
estate.
But I'm typing the lists.
Oh, are you? Yeah.
Yeah, for
Illyrio
the
or,
Swede.
Illyria's
or
estate.
Jorah? I like Jorah.
Why are we not talking about Mary? They can't be the same for all three.
Yeah, Corset banner, right?
We're on non-loyal.
Yeah, corset banner. Corset if you're banner
Oh.
dragon. What are you?
Oh,
Illyria, right?
Illyrio. It's Illyrio.
And then it's Miri again because we don't have to talk about how fucking broken Miri is for the fifth time.
Yeah, she
Yep,
good.
I agree with all that.
All right, Sun, Stag, Wolf. What do you want to do next? Greyjoy? Just do Kraken.
Too great.
Cracking it up.
All right. Anyone want to argue against Balon?
They shouldn't do.
Yeah, no, he's great.
I return. Where are we?
Greyjoy.
Greyjoy,
Swing.
Greyjoy, Corset.
Balon?
Yeah, Balon was pretty
Yeah,
Correct.
good. Then first
Yeah.
cycle, Seastone, Iron
Sure.
Mines.
Mines.
On
sure.
mines.
Mines.
Mines. Yeah.
I'm going mines
Mines.
with the expectation
Oh, wait.
that there will be Valor in the future.
Yeah.
And it's good now. Like, there's so much direct kill. I love Banner Kraken.
We'll get there in 2 seconds. We're still on main house Greyjoy.
Yeah.
Right, but cycle. I say Iron Mines.
Yeah, I
On
agree.
mines.
They didn't really get very. I guess Seastone. If we're talking about only loyal cards,
It's not only
Seastone,
loyal though.
but
It's
Cycle
Right,
if,
but
cards.
if you're main house Greyjoy, what's the best thing they got this cycle?
Iron Mines.
I mind.
Yeah, I agree.
3x every Greyjoy deck.
All right, now that you're bannering to the Kraken, what's the best thing in the core set?
Asha.
Asha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Asher.
Wow, we are. Yeah, I don't want to do this. It's gonna take forever. We're agreeing on everything. And then Iron Mines again, right? Like we're doing.
Yeah, Iron Mines.
Yeah.
Damn
We're
it.
also in the factions now that people play regularly. So
So let's do Stark next.
Sure.
so main house Stark Rob
Ooh,
Ice.
out of the core set.
Cat.
Catelyn. I like Catelyn.
I like Cat.
Right
Cat.
now, is Cat the best though with the ward?
There's not enough
Oh,
reward out
core
there.
only? Yeah.
No, we're not core only. We're saying the best core set card, but we're in the current set.
Right,
It's
but
still,
I mean,
it's
from-
still Cat
yeah.
for me.
I think I'd be leaning Cat.
I
Mm.
still think Rob. Oof, like
Rob, yeah.
just the synergies are just.
Rob's close
I mean,
for me.
like
Ice
ugh.
has got to be up there too.
Ice is
I'm,
up there
I'm,
too.
Ice.
I'm thinking ice.
Ice. Ice.
So expensive.
Yes, ice.
When it gets canceled,
So
it
good.
goes away.
Oh, so good.
It's great when it hits, but there's so much better target to kill than ice.
Yeah, you know what? You're probably right. I'm going to
It's so
change
easy
my
to
mind.
control it.
I'm going to change my mind and go for Rob.
I think
All
that's
right,
fair.
we got to vote.
Okay,
We didn't
Rob.
vote yet.
I-
Rob
Rob.
won.
Rob.
Yeah, I think it's 4-2
I vote
for
Rob.
Rob and Cat.
Rob. All right,
Cat.
Rob wins.
Yep.
I'm okay with
Right.
that.
First cycle. Let's not count. Do we want to count the Stark box? We got to decide.
Yeah, do it. It's
Yeah,
part of the
sure.
cycle.
It's part of
Yeah,
the
we'll count the Stark box. Then it's Fast Eddie.
Fast Eddie. Yep.
Yeah.
Fast Eddie Clark.
Is it not Winterfell?
I was thinking of Winterfell.
No.
I'm willing.
Put me
to
down
vote.
for Winterfell. Put me down
I'm
for
voting Winterfell too, man.
it. Yeah.
Word,
It's so
word,
good, Buzz.
word or
If-
Fast
Buzz,
Eddie?
we need to play
Fast
some
Eddie.
games.
Fast
Ward
Eddie
sucks.
turned out to be a
Ward's-
lot more
Ward's such a
impactful than
trap.
Ward, I think.
Yeah,
I'm
Fast
voting-
Eddie.
And
I'm
Winterfell.
voting for Winterfell.
Oh.
Winterfell is
I-
also.
I'm not
dangerous
typing
for
down
me.
I think
Winterfell
Stark-
because you're so
I mean-
fucking wrong.
It's about to be bad with all the winter, but for
Yeah.
like a month, it's going to be good. It's
yeah.
right now is the time to play it, and then you're done. I'm also going to play every single one of my decks summer until that's not an option. I'm a summer boy.
Yeah, summer is so good.
Yeah, I'm really excited
that-
for that.
All
That
right.
summer plot is really
So
good.
Fat Eddie, okay. Next.
So Fast Eddie wins.
So
Fat.
best non-loyal,
Best
Arya
If you're bannering to the wolf, it's probably for Arya. Yeah. No,
out of the
Bran.
core set.
Bran. Fuck that,
Core set.
Oh, Bran, yeah,
Bran. Bran every day.
Yeah, Bran's
Bran,
really good.
Bran or Arya, but Bran, yeah.
He's the reason to get there.
Event cancel is good. Events are how people.
And then
know you.
Fast
That's
Eddie
good.
again for the cycle
Yeah.
as a banner card. Like
Yeah.
He's good.
He gets powered fast.
he does. That's
So
what I
what are
think
we
makes him
waiting-
slightly better than Winter.
First, it's best core, then best cycle, but then best
Then
non-loyal
best if you're
core.
then if
Best
no
banner
if you're bannering
core,
to the
best
wolf.
banner
Okay,
wolf.
okay.
Like I'm bannering to the wolf. What's the card? What's the card I want most out of in the core set?
Okay.
That's what I want.
Banner core, banner cycle. All right.
All right, Martel.
It's all
who
trash.
was the fast? What was
We
the
are
last
core
one?
set. Core set main house.
In the core set?
Gaston.
No. But the,
Gaston
for
Grey.
Stark.
Yes.
For Stark.
Yeah,
Gaston's the
great.
best in the core set.
Wait,
Which
Oh,
one was the last
For
one
Stark,
for Stark?
we vote Fast Eddie again. So it was Rob, Fast Eddie, Bran, Fast Eddie.
Fast Eddie.
Oh, is he
So now we're
taking
on
minutes?
Martell.
All right.
Is anyone arguing with us? Oh wow, we got a core Sansa arguing.
I like Corsanza a lot.
I
Yeah,
like
but she's not
Corsanza
the
a lot too.
best.
I mean Stark again, like I'm on team I've been on Team Stark since the core set. Like I think that their cards are amazing. They're really, really, really good cards.
And fun.
But anyway,
If you
and
play
fun,
it
yes.
my way.
Right. Or my way.
No. You play Winterfell and I'm playing dudes and aggro.
Okay. So Gaston is the best Martell card,
That's a really good
Gaston
Yes.
for sure.
and
Gaston.
then
Gaston
the best
is-
Martell banner card in the core set.
Ariane.
Really?
Yeah.
No, you can't banner for
Condemned.
everyone.
best cycle.
Best has to be a
first.
good
Best-
card.
Best cycle main house.
Oh, best
mo-
cycle main house.
Cycle
Sorry,
main house.
sorry.
Condemned.
Would be
No, that would be Nymeria.
Ooh, Nymeria.
Condemned.
No, I'm voting
Oh,
Okay.
that's so hard. Condemned or Nymeria? Yeah, it's so hard.
Or is this
I'm
for
gonna,
main
I'm
house?
gonna vote Condemned. For
Yeah,
sure.
if you're
Which-
Martell,
If you're
Mary
Martell,
doesn't come back when she dies.
yeah, but how
Condemned
much
many,
can't be
Nymeria
milked.
is a banner?
You can't milk Condemned.
yeah, but I'm running 3 Nymeria and 2 Condemned.
No,
You're
3
doing
3.
it wrong, bro. Yeah, 3 and 3.
I'm voting Nymeria. Let's do a vote.
all right. So
Condemned.
1 Nymeria, 1 condemned. Ryan, you're also condemned.
Nymeria.
So 2 to 1, 2 to 2.
2 to 1, 2 to 2. Craven,
Or is this the if your main
If
house Martell
Your main house Martell.
if your house card is Martell
from what the first cycle?
from the first cycle, yep.
Nymeria.
I like that no one gives a shit about Tayin. It's either Nymeria. So Nymeria is up
Nymeria.
to 2. One more vote. It's you, Roy.
That's me. I'm gonna go with the SoCal guys and do a tie. I'm gonna say condemned.
Ugh. So we have our
Fair enough.
Well,
first.
the beards rather, because Sid voted for Nymeria, so
I did.
All right, so
beards.
We
we are now
accept you onto the team.
bannering the sun. What Corset card are you keeping? Because I'm not running Ariana those decks at all.
No.
I'd
Corset
guess the
card.
corset as a banner.
Corset.
Nothing.
Kaliat?
I'll
Kaliat.
stay
yeah.
Knights.
I think it's
Kaliat.
Kaliat.
Oh man, I think you're all crazy. It's Ariane.
No, I don't run Mariana.
All right,
Oh, without
hold
the
on.
Martell
Hold
booster, I
Hold
don't.
on, let's let Craven make his argument. Why, Craven?
She enables so much stuff, and she's just constant value, even in a banner. You know, think of the things she activates across all the houses. She
You have
can be
to run
reduced.
the orange crows for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't run.
How are you affording her every turn if you're not? Maybe Lannister, I guess, but that's usually the answer to economy is Lannister.
Well, this may be why I'm a bad player, but
No,
You're allowed
it's
to
fine.
have that opinion, you know.
but yeah,
I feel like
I
we're
think
I
Ariane.
feel you need the Martell location reducers for her to be really good.
To be value.
Yeah.
She can have a big splashy play once during a game, but how many turns are you spending your whole marshaling just to get her out and then play someone who's less than 5 gold? Like,
And
that's tough.
you need to play Martell for her to be really good because of Hota. Because he's loyal.
I mean, she's great with a lot of things, like she
yeah.
is with Hota. Hota is certainly a great.
But
choice
I mean,
for that.
any splashy character she's good with, like dumping even like an Asha in the middle of the challenges phase is pretty amazing. So, but I do think she's not that good in Banner of the Sun.
So the banner is Nymeria, right? Because you lose the every turn tiers. So Nymeria is more versatile.
Condemned.
No? You still think condemned? Like seriously, you can't really like if you lose.
Nymeria is the reason I play. If I would play Banner of the Sun, which I wouldn't, but that would be Nymeria. So yeah, Nymeria, I say here, and condemned further up.
Okay. We've got Barra, and then we've got a fight for life.
Barra,
Best Barra, Corset, main house card right now.
The Red Keep.
Oh.
Ooh, Red Keep. I still go Fat Bobby.
Oh, Melisandre.
No,
think-
she's
I think
she's
Stannis is the
Banner.
worst.
I think she's definitely Banner, but I think she's also main house.
I think it's Robert.
I don't think so. I think Robert.
It's
I think Robert-
because
Robert
all
just-
that icon control. There's so much icon control in the game right now for Bob to be the best. He's still amazing, don't get me wrong, but like it's pretty easy to just leave him a giant dude standing there.
Yeah, but that giant dude can help you win dominance if push truly just comes to shove.
Yeah.
Like, I think Robert. I mean,
Yeah, but what are they going to do with winning dominance? Like
Yeah. Well, steal
Wait,
one
free
power,
power?
from you. And
draw cards, steal power.
Draw
Okay, fine.
cards, still power.
Bear's the one house. You know, if you leave their best character standing, they win dominance every turn. Well, that can run
I'm
away
not too
from
upset about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm voting for Stannis. No one else did, but I think he's the linchpin to the meta right now.
Oh, good shout.
Ooh, good.
The next
That's
deck I play is going to be out Stannis. Like that's just a little preview for the SoCal guys.
Oh, is that
All
for
in.
regional
It's
next
like-
weekend? Regional
Yep.
next weekend, we can
Hey.
count on it.
Is that
It's
the deck?
Barra. That's all I'll give you.
Is that the
It's,
deck?
it's all
Is
about
that the deck
Stannis.
we discussed a few days ago?
It could be.
So it is. Okay, got it.
I played
right.
it against Sid. He talked about it. It's the Bara Sun.
Yeah, we
Bad
built that
main
deck.
house,
Pretty
bad
good.
bad banner. You know,
It's the second.
good player means maybe I'll get 10th, just like Roy and Tiny.
So what's our barrow? Like we have 4 really strong options. What are we voting?
Stannis.
We got
One
a stack.
Stannis,
Red
one
Keep.
Red Keep. So
Yeah, and I'm
Craven,
sticking
you're
with
also Red
that.
Keep.
No,
Yeah, I'm sticking to Red Keep.
It's really good.
Chambers.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Chambers.
So we're all over the place now. So we have one
We're gonna
Stannis,
have 7
one
different
Red
votes. That's
Keep,
great.
one.
This sounds like the best house. We should revote on house. I'm gonna vote Bara first. I just remembered all the good
Wait
cards.
till we have to argue what the best cycle Lanny card is.
Well, we'll get there. We'll get there. You're getting ahead of us again, Aaron. All right. So Aaron, what's your vote? So we have 3 different things. Right
I'm
now. What's your
still voting Mel.
Mel? Okay. Sid,
I like Robert still.
you and I will both vote Robert. So Robert wins by a narrow 2-person.
All right, Bobby
Scene
wins.
Flames. Scene and Flames. I'm switching. Let's have 7 different votes.
There's so many good cards in this house. All right. Best banner bearer card.
No,
Best main
we haven't
house
done cycle.
Right. That's got to be the whatchamacallit, the Stark Box one.
Even-handed justice.
EHJ.
Even-handed justice.
Yeah, that's really quality.
Moon Boy is also up there, but I would still say even-handed justice.
Tabo Mart's Armory? No.
Gendry
But
all
it's
day.
good.
Barristan, City
Not
Watch.
Barristan.
It's even-handed.
Even-handed.
Even-handed. Yep.
I'm down.
I don't think there's a strong argument against even-handed.
It took
No,
me a
I
while to
agree.
get there, but it's even-handed.
Yeah, I didn't like it when I first saw it, but having used it and been
Raja!
against it, yeah, I definitely even-handed justice.
I did not
Played
like it
first
either.
edition. How did you not like it if you played first edition?
I didn't
2
like
gold,
neither.
man. It's
You
so
know-
expensive.
You know what puts it over Moon Boy? Melee.
Everything?
Melee.
I don't know
It's a
about that.
ridiculous card in Melee.
Is this list not melee based?
Okay.
I'd like to redo some answers.
Let's redo the whole list.
Yeah.
So
Let's
we're
Stag.
moving on to Banner then?
Yeah, Stag
No.
from the core set has to be Mel, right?
Melisandre.
Yep.
What the
Melisandre.
hell else do you want? From...
I mean,
Chambers.
Scene Chamber.
Scene and Flames
Chambers.
and Chamber are really good.
Chambers is good.
You don't see in
But
flames.
Scene in
without
Flames
Mel, right?
is not as good without Melisandre, right?
Yeah, but
It's-
you're not bannering
it's
just
okay.
for the chambers. You're throwing in Mel. You're throwing in some.
I'm throwing in Mel, but I'm bannering for the Chambers.
Really
There you
though?
go.
Yes,
Really?
yes.
I'm with Buzz. I think Chambers better.
Then Melisandre.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't milk a Chambers.
You are
That's
in
just-
love with it.
That's just my rubric.
Yes,
like,
you can.
Can you
milk
milk
You can
it?
freeze it.
Yes, you
freeze
can.
it.
Can you milk it?
Freeze it solid.
But you
That
can't
card sucks.
political disaster Melisandre, right? So
Yeah, but you can't put political disaster in your deck and feel good about it. So yet, someday maybe.
Okay, so
but they can be
LA.
saved. It's so much worse than fleeing to the wall. But anyway.
let's vote.
So much worse.
Okay, so but Melisandre what? So I voted Melisandre.
Yeah.
Aaron voted Melisandre. Craven, you're Melisandre too.
I am, yes.
Sid.
Mel, for sure.
All right, so
Mel wins.
and 2 votes for Chamber.
And then I think the best banner card is still even-handed justice, right? The best, sorry.
Banner
That's-
cycle.
Yeah, for Banner of the Stag.
Yeah.
All right. And then we are finally on to the fight, and then we can get off this ridiculously long podcast.
Who came up with this segment idea?
Me.
Oh, it's-
I wanted us to all disagree. I like disagree.
It's been productive. Okay, so Lannister best
Best
card
cycle.
out of the core set.
Tywin, move on.
Yeah, because
Okay, cycle.
best cycle. Go.
Yeah, best cycle.
The Hound.
Gregor.
Oh, tough one, this. The Hound.
Oh wait, I
I'm
changed
gonna
mine to never bet against my family.
Damn it, Sid! I was about to say that. I was gonna, because I was like, it built a whole archetype. Like
It did, but I still say Gregor because Gregor was the best impact moment of that archetype. So, still Gregor.
I have Gregor as well.
Yeah, I agree.
So 2-2. 3. Roy?
I think it's
I'm
for
gonna
Gregor.
vote never.
You voted I never bet, so Gregor wins.
Never bets. Gregor wins. That's fine with me. Never bet. Like that card, particularly when the Lannister box comes out, there's gonna be a fresh splattering of unique
Of
Lannister
7
characters.
cost ones too that you can just toss in.
And Tyrion, and you can just
Yeah.
7 cost intrigue icons. So maybe Tower of the Hand will finally be useful. Maybe.
Let's not go crazy.
Oh.
That's gonna be
Sid
amazing
Tower-
someday.
I think
The Tower of
think
the
Sid
Hand
just-
in the Banff when the Lannister box comes out will be baller.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna be very gross.
3.
All right,
Oh,
so
God.
Lion's
Best
actually
banners,
gonna be really easy.
best banner
Lion is
core.
Tyrion, right?
Tyrion.
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 Best banner cycle.
I think.
Right.
See, I think that's actually
No?
like even if that's actually Hound, not Gregor.
Hound. Yeah, Hound.
Yeah, because Hound
Mm,
fits more
mm.
places.
you don't
Yeah,
always play
Certain factions
Gregor.
can. Well, what factions reliably? I mean, Gregor is in what? Is he in the
Every-
current version of Targ Lion? Was he in the Targ Lion that
Yeah,
Chris took?
absolutely.
Yeah. If you have
You just
access
run-
to Gregor, you're playing him.
Yeah.
You might not be running
The
three,
strength
like,
and the renown. It doesn't even matter about the ability. Like it's just it's
I
the
mean,
body that
the
a lot
ability-
of houses are missing.
the ability just wins games too.
It's super
Like,
annoying.
yeah.
through no skill. But it wins
He
games.
carried me in the top 8 and top 4 in France. He carried me so hard.
Yeah,
Put you on his back and was like, we're going to win this motherfucker.
I'm both
I think it's
What are-
Gregor again.
I think it's Hound.
Hound, yeah.
voting for
Because
Gregor in in the fourth one.
I think Hound because Hound is so much better in Martell.
Martell. Okay.
No, Hound is fucking amazing in Martell Lion. Am I nuts?
Yeah,
Maybe.
of course. But
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
yeah.
the
He's good in
reason
Stark
I
Lion.
wouldn't put Gregor on the 4th here is because you don't always play him.
Yeah.
In banners.
I mean, you might just run a one of too. Like I can see running a one of Gregor in a banner. You're pretty much always going to try and find the 2 Hound. He's so hard to get rid of.
Yeah, I'm okay with the Hound.
Okay. The Hound is, I guess, then. Because Craven, did you vote Hound or Gregor?
You
I
voted
went for
Gregor.
Gregor.
I'm
Oh,
sticking
okay.
with Gregor.
So we have 2 Gregors. I'm the Hound. Aaron, you're
Hounds.
the Hound.
That's
Hound.
the Hound.
And then Ryan, you're the
I'm
deciding
Hound.
vote. The Hound. So
All
4
right,
to
the
2.
Hound wins. Wow, the biggest fight was
I'm Hound.
Barra Main House. I did not see that shit coming. Not counting the rows when no one knew cards.
So, can I ask
Baxter.
one sort of end of the cycle question for you guys? So, the house specific plots, how do you think they ended up at the end of the cycle? Are any of them really good?
So
Or any of-
badly handled by FFG. They could have had very interesting for all of them. I mean, Wardens of the West is great. Wardens of the North is great. What the fuck is the Baratheon one? I don't know. It sucks ass.
It's
not good.
terrible.
It's really bad.
King's Peace.
It's
right?
The Martell
really
one still
bad.
sees play.
Long
Martell
plan.
one's
Martell
I,
one's
I
fine.
don't like the long plan one, but I think it's interesting. I like it.
I don't.
I think the long
But I
plan
don't
is the best
run
one
it.
out of all of them.
Whoa. You know Valor's coming, right?
Worse than the Night's Watch one?
Yeah,
That one's pretty bad.
it will be better, of course.
The Night's Watch is good in exactly one deck, the defense deck.
Nice Watchman is good. The Barra one is clearly the worst.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Like the Barra one's never going to be good. The
The
other one,
Tyrell one will eventually be good.
yeah,
I like the
I mean,
Tyrell one.
I like it
Tyrell,
too,
it's
actually.
okay.
It's, not
It's a
that
it's a
bad.
5 gold summons. It's fine.
Or a 5 gold coppers,
Coppers.
right?
Counting
Yeah.
coppers.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing. Or 5 gold wildfire.
But then you have to
Like-
wait for that, right? Like so, the waiting.
Yeah.
I think the best one is Martell. The worst one's Night's Watch.
I think.
No, sorry, the worst one's Barra.
Yeah,
The worst one's got to be
Bear
there.
is really
Like,
bad.
Best
Like-
one, Martell?
Yeah, I think
Ah.
it's definitely.
I like the Stark and Lanny. I think those are.
I think the Stark is the
I
best.
think the Stark is the best, then the Lanny, then the Marcel.
The Stark,
Lanny
you don't
one
need
is underplayed.
anything to make it work. The Lanny one, you need the gold. You need to you kind of telegraph what you want to do that plot phase or that challenge phase.
Yeah, but
Stark one, just twist your head up.
but it so often reads you can't intrigue challenge against me, right? Which is
Yeah.
helpful.
I love triggering on defense.
Yeah, me-
Yeah, people are like, what? Yeah, read it.
Let me read that card.
Yeah. When I win one.
which is also the way I use that Tower of Hand on defense. It's way better.
But
Mhm.
the question is though, how is Wardens making the cut though in a lot of Lannister plot decks right now?
No, none.
No,
That's
it's
because
super underplayed.
No.
Lannister has the same 6 plots and everything, and it just fucks around with the 7.
So, I mean, that kind of says, but while Wardens, on the other hand, of the North, is making most Stark decks now.
That's why
I would
Wardens
say-
was first.
Yeah.
North was first.
I would say Long Plan is making more. I'm just like, as a practical thing.
Long Plan is in more Martell decks than
Okay.
West is in Lanny decks.
True.
Mhm.
Yeah, what the fuck with Blood of the Dragon, though?
Oh, we
They
forgot
really-
about
they-
the dragon.
They neutered that shit into oblivion, huh? They took one of the
Yeah.
coolest restrictions plots and you're like, we don't want this to be good. So, let's
Will
get
it be good someday?
3 gold would be so. It would be fine. 3 gold.
3
I
gold,
would have
I'd rock.
loved it.
Will it be good
But-
one day? Yes. Will
Yeah.
it be great one day? I don't know.
If we ever get Forever Burning back,
Ooh.
Not getting purple.
we will never see that card again.
And we shouldn't.
Why?
there's just not enough
Unplayable.
burn. Yeah, right now.
Yeah, we'll get there.
We'll get there eventually. Hopefully or not hopefully, right?
Any final cycle thoughts for anyone? Because I want to pee and then go to a barbecue.
Nothing from me.
No.
I'm excited for the next one. I'm ready for another
Yeah.
cycle. Let's go.
Me too.
Let's
Hopefully
go.
this month, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Is that
they
really
thinking
what's
June?
happening?
I thought
Yeah.
July.
Well,
That's
I'll
incredible.
give a small spoiler because Will's posted it. If you haven't watched it yet, Michael Hurley says in the White Book interview that the expectation is that there's a chapter pack every month.
So that means this month.
That's FFG's specific goal.
That-
That
that
doesn't
would-
mean they'll always hit it, but that's their specific goal.
Where
Yeah, but-
did the Stark box hit? Was it after the second pack?
Third.
Third.
Fourth. Yeah, between third and fourth.
Okay, so the next box, Lanny could hit in third quarter and land right in the same spot again, right? Right
Yeah,
after
no,
the third.
One would assume it's going to be blue for Worlds, but not Gen Con.
Yeah, I can imagine it could be bought at Gen Con, but it will probably not be legal until World Stalic.
That's pretty interesting.
I
It's
like
Okay,
a
it.
Lanny.
shakeup. Worlds is going to be fundamentally different than Gen Con, and not because of a restricted list, which will be.
I mean, if
Same with
if
Stalic.
Chapter Pack 2 is out, Gen Con will be significantly different than this, just
Yeah.
this where we are right now.
You'll
Oh, I
get
think the first
season's
chapter pack,
agendas,
depending on what's. I think the first chapter pack, depending on what's in it, will also.
No, I don't
Shake
think
it.
so. The agendas, I think, are too big to
Yeah.
resist. While a lot of first chapter pack stuff, not that we know everything, but like we've seen a fair amount of spoilers. It's just good cards that go with good decks.
It's true.
Where agendas are just good decks.
So, all right. One final thing. So, is the game in a good place or not in a good place at the end of the first cycle? Craven?
No, the game sucks. We should also quit our podcast.
Doesn't
I
mean the
think
game
it's-
sucks.
I think it is. Yes. Overall, yeah. Binary answer. Yes, it is.
Okay. Ryan.
I don't know. I don't think it's in a bad spot. My answer is not going to be binary. I think there's definitely a room for it to improve, but I just feel like the meta's a little stale.
Sid?
So yes, with a qualification.
Yes.
I think it could be better. One phrase that kind of turned up at KublaCon quite a bit was I got 2.0'd or I 2.0'd somebody.
Yeah.
And I feel like that, it's a little background. 2.0 just means to get hit with like a really lucky Gregor flip, or you had the card and then they had the canceled, and you had the canceled, and they had the canceled, and it's just like, oh my god, these nested things are these lucky kind of smackdowns where you actually had board position, but one little thing kind of goes wrong, and the tables just get flipped. And I think we need Valor. I'm ready
Yeah.
for Valor. I think we
Yeah,
can use it
definitely.
right now.
Yeah.
Getting
Yeah.
2.0 it means something you could have fixed with Valor.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah.
And John
Well, I
Krause
think-
is the king of it.
Wait,
Uh,
whenever Valor is spoiled, whenever Valor comes out, I'm actually going to contact them and be like, when is Valor coming out? And can we have the spoiler for Second Sons?
Ooh,
We all
Second
need to
Sons.
come on and just for Second Sons. We all need to come on and just immediately shit talk the whole community's explosion. Because
I'm gonna have a party.
there's going to be a meltdown. Like the
we can
meltdown,
have a party.
the Facebook group literally might be like 6 people by the end of it. It'll be great.
I can't wait. And what I will say, just quickly, just to return to my turn to talk. Sorry,
Oh.
is that is that whilst I think it's in a good place, I don't think it's been in a great place for the whole time. And one thing that I have kind of found myself wrestling with is that I don't feel as passionately about the game as I used to. I still enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. I'm still sitting here on a Saturday night talking this sort of stuff through with you guys, but I don't feel how I used to about it. I haven't got the passion that I had perhaps to a house identity, or to, I used to have like one deck that I loved and I just tweaked, and I do feel a little bit adrift at the moment. It's got better as time's gone on, and I hope that sort of trend continues. So when I say I think it's in a good place, it's not blind or I think it's perfect, but it's definitely better than it has been. But yeah, and like Ryan said, I think there is still room for improvement. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't think it's necessarily bad at the moment.
Glazer?
I feel like the meta's mostly been figured out. I'm a little bored. I don't love the game as much as I used to, but I still love the people, so here we are. But plug time. You guys should go find our new Facebook page that doesn't exist yet. Like us, and you can vote for the following 3 things. You can vote for, which is the better main house. What was it? Buzz, help me.
What?
The better main house. Which was the better main house, Targaryen or Stark? And which is the best banner house? Rose or Sun? Those are 2 ties.
Watch the YouTube video in 3 hours and you'll see.
And in addition, you can also vote on whether we should have an episode this coming Wednesday or Buzz should get to sleep. He's going to give up that control to you, the viewers. Good luck.
Well, Aaron, if you're without a podcast on Wednesday, I know a fantastic show which records on a Wednesday.
I'm always up for being on Banter. I can. Oh, shit.
I
can't.
haven't been on Banter. Dave promised me an episode of Banter.
I work until too late for you guys.
Why don't we all come on Banter? I'm making a decision.
Don't make it this week, but let's do it in like a couple weeks.
10 person banter.
Let's do like a 50.
It'll literally
Banter
be
still
like
run?
overwhelming amounts of banter.
Oh,
Hey.
No, that's
Banter has a okay. We can't end an episode without saying this. Like Banter has a better publication rate than Beyond the Wall these days.
Beyond the what?
Yeah, Beyond the
Yeah.
what?
We're number
They-
2
They
officially.
still make
You know how bad? No, you're number 1. But you know how bad
Thanks.
Beyond the Wall is right now. John was like, "Can I come on Second Sons again? I don't know when Beyond the Wall's coming back."
Well, we would definitely, of course, have John back on anytime. Okay, I've got to go have dinner and all that good stuff. So it was wonderful talking with you, gentlemen. Thank you all for watching, and we'll either see you all next Wednesday, or this Wednesday, or some other Wednesday in the future. Watch Banter. Or
Bye,
listen,
guys.
technically.
I'm waving, but I've got no picture, so just know that I'm waving with a beer.